Lineup for Braves Country by D.M. McGee, 2024. A is for Aaron, the Hammer and Hank, the real home run king. Take that to the bank. B is for Bobby. Cox never cowered. He'd give Blue quite an earful on his way to the showers. C is for Chipper. Don't call him Larry. He would show up in Shea, the Mets he would bury. D is for David. Justice he'd bring. A Game 6 solo brought Atlanta their ring. E is for Eddie Matthews. 512 bombs away. Lit skies from Boston to Milwaukee to the A. F is for Fred. McGriff dog-biting crime. A fire was lit the day he arrived. G is for Glavine. Southpaw winds and kicks. Changing speeds east and west. A gem in Game 6. H is for Harry and his brother George Wright. The father of baseball, Boston pennants in flight. I is for inning, ending double play. Riley to Ozzie to Olsen all day. J is for Jones. Andrew let her fly. And his gloves in center is where singles would die. K is for strikeouts. A plenty from Strider. The quads in the stash, getting swings from that slider. L is for Lopez. Javi to B-Mac. Travis and Smurf, we've been lucky to see that. M is for Mad Dog. He won 355. Could swat flies with the changeup and still bust you inside. N is for Necro. He got to the hall by bending and knuckling and floating that ball. O is for Otis. Old Nixon could fly. The catch at the wall baffled our eyes. P still for Peterson. We were all rockin' pearls. With Eddie and Jorge, we were out of this world. Q is a quandary for why Dale is not in. Murphy MVPs again and again. R is for ranking. The top pitchers lore. Remember Kid Nichols, 107 WAR. S is for Smoltzy. The big three in the hall. When the game's on the line, you give John the ball. T is for Tyler. Matzik and the gift of 2021, the entire night shift. U is for Chavez, but we say Uncle Jesse. The frames, the release, kept the batters guessing. V is Van Weeren. Skip Carey 2. Don Ernie Joe, the tales from the booth. W is Warren. Spawn Johnny Sane. They'd ride him in Boston and then pray for rain. X is Mazzoni. Yeah, X marked the spot. Leo rocked next to Bobby, and his pitchers stayed hot. Why it makes us feel young, the game's main appeal. Chopping through the battery, there's no better feel. Z is for Zip Boom Bam, Ramalama Ding Dong. Throughout the summer, we sing that song. From AJ to eyeglasses and a hell of a pen. Mad Max, Uncle Charlie, win after win. A cannon from short, and RC you later. Acuna Matata, there is no one greater. Though you can't fit them all when you just A to Z. Think of your favorites in the rafters we see. I started with 3, then 10, 25, 47, 31, and of course 29. Let's not forget 21, 41, 35, the great 44, or 755. and old number 6, who led his great teams. The pennants were flying. It felt like a dream. From Boston to Milwaukee to Atlanta's TBS, a family, a tradition, Braves country's the best. Line Up for Braves Country by D.M. Magee, 2024.
Like me, you can't smoke like me. So don't try and be like me. Let's party together.
There's something kind of about a kid that's never played baseball.
Baseball is a beautiful thing. It's more beautiful in an old park. It's asymmetrical and quirky. But even in a dome with artificial turf, it's beautiful. The way the field fans out, the choreography of the sport, the pace and rhythm of it, the fact that that pace and rhythm allows for conversation and reflection and opinion and comparison.
In right field, the crowd is tormenting Strawberries, singing, "Darryl, Darryl." along first. Behind the bag. It gets through Buckner. Here comes Knight, and the Mets win.
And there's a fly ball deep to left. It's on its way. There it goes. And the Yankees are going to the World Series. Aaron Boone.
Ground ball stabbed by Polk. He has it. He underhands to first for the first time in 86 years. The Red Sox have won baseball world championship. Can you believe it?
It's a pastime, something you do. It's entertainment, something you watch. And it's a shared experience, something you talk about and read about. But you can apply those same three criteria to other things. What makes baseball special is that it's the best game that's ever been devised.
Smith corks one into right down the line. It may go. Go crazy, folks. Go crazy.
Sure as God made green apples, someday the Chicago Cubs are going to be in the World Series.
A little bouncer slowly toward Bryant. He will glove it in front of Rizzo. It's in time. And the Chicago Cubs win the World Series. Cubs win. What a lucky break. The good Lord wants the Cubs to win.
How can you not be romantic about baseball?
If baseball is about caring, about loyalty and rivalry.
Braves fans are on their feet hoping for some kind of a bleeder or a seeing-eye single. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Fastball hit high and deep down the right field line. It's going back, back, back. Is it fair? Is it zip, boom, bam, it's gone. Ram-a-lam-a ding dong, a 3-run shot, and your Atlanta Braves have taken a 1-run lead. She's gone, baby!
There's a very peaceful thing. It was created and played in pastures and meadows. There's grass, there's outdoors, there's everything that people thought was American and feel about America you get in a ballpark. And it's the wonder of walking through that dark tunnel and seeing a huge open space where men play the little boy's game.
I believe in the Church of Baseball. I've tried all the major religions and most of the minor ones. I know things. For instance, there are 108 beads in a Catholic rosary and there are 108 stitches in a baseball. I prefer metaphysics to theology. You see, there's no guilt in baseball, and it's never boring. It's a long season and you gotta trust it. I've tried them all, I really have. And the only church that truly feeds the soul day in, day out is the Church of Baseball.
Swung line drive left field. 1 run is in. Here comes Reed. Here's the throw to the plate. He is safe.
You're in Braves country.
If there's a bigger thing going on right now, I don't know what it is. We're down to 1 strike here. Gurriel, the last hope for the Houston Astros. And here's the 0-2 pitch. Swung on, bounced over to Dansby. Dansby fires it over to first, and here comes the dog pile. Fire the cannons in the battery. Do the chop all throughout Braves country. Pop that top. Your Atlanta Braves have won it all.
Oh, say can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we won.
Down a beer? 7 o'clock in the morning. Scotch?
Hey, howdy, hi, and how the hell are you? Pull up an armchair, girls and boys, and join us for Braves Country Baseball. You're listening live, and the scene is Lone Depot Park in Miami, Florida, where we're set to bring you pitch-by-pitch, play-by-play of your Atlanta Braves. Hi, I'm Mac Magee. We'd like to thank all the Country Club members for helping support the channel. Please become a Country Club member today. And if you haven't already, smash that like and subscribe to Braves Country Radio. Well, it's about that time. Grab you a cold one. Find you an armchair. It's Braves Marlins Game 2 of a 3-game set. Atlanta Braves fell in Game 1 by 1 run, 4-3. We've got Max Fried on the mound tonight and going up against Aller with a 5.4 ERA. So with that right-hander on the mound, we'll go back to the well of the ice house and take Matt Olson to click. Braves going away 8-2. Atlanta Braves come into today 2 games behind the New York Mets. They are playing the Philadelphia Phillies at this very same time. So with that said, just like last night, we will continue to put the score in the corner once we chop that sign down. Max Fried on the mound tonight. So we've got the Mad Max emoji kicking for you in the chat. We got the Ozzy Albies, the Wiz emoji as well. Check out some of the others that we've added along the way this week. It's time to warm up those chop arms, Country Club, Braves Country. Get your game face on. And if you haven't made a survivor pick yet, this is the last time you can do it before the contest begins. Going forward, they must all be put into the chat during the show.
Keep playing like this, will be the laughing stock of the league.
This sucks, and it's horse but I'm too polite to say anything, because I'm a class act.
All right, boys, let's get back to basics. This is a baseball. The object of the game is to keep the baseball within the confines of the
Braves Country.
Get this bus moving. Stop. Come back. Too late.
Roll call! Yeah, roll call!
You're in Braves Country.
Good afternoon, Braves Country. Hope y'all are having a hell of a day. A lot of college football going on. I know a lot of folks are probably jamming out to that. If I told you how much I hate it when they play the Marlins, Jesus, please. You got to deal with the freaking Bally's app and do all that nonsense. I think it's just absolute trash. All right, we're just about set for pitch-by-pitch, play-by-play of your Atlanta Braves. I don't know what in the hell Travis is putting in the chat, but okay, Travis. Heroin is a dangerous drug there, buddy. Be safe. All right, let's go ahead and get into this. It's roll call. Hello, John Oswaldo, Country Club member, The Beeve. James Hagan, Country Club member. Hello, John. Daryl, Daniel. Gary, the real McCoy. Nathaniel. Brooks, Country Club member. Billy Sanford, Country Club member. And hopefully the rest will be in the chat eventually. I think the GOAT said he was going to be there, so I don't know if he meant he's going to be at the game in Miami or he's going to be here in the chat, but regardless, good afternoon, GOAT. We are very close to first pitch. Looks like the Miami Marlins are going to be wearing their god-awful City Connect, so that can only be Advantage Atlanta. You've never seen those hideous things. They are putrid. The Miami City Connects, arguably the worst there is. They're a bright red with blue all around on the sleeves, white pants. Basically look like someone got a bout of food poisoning and got near the jerseys. Up all the different stations, so let me hit that button real quick, and we're just about set for pitch-by-pitch play-by-play of your Atlanta Braves. Atlanta Braves. Not 100% sure why, but the game should be starting about now, and they are not back from break, so we'll just see how that plays out. But it's Miami, and yeah, I can imagine that they don't really have their act together. They're one of those teams that every time it's one of the reasons why I didn't even bother to do the pregame lineups. They're always notoriously late, and they were late again today. And I was like, you know what? I'm just not messing with it. Miami, and there's 3 other teams that, I mean, every time I see them on the list, I'm like, we're probably not going to get the lineups. We'll go through the lineups real quick while they're dilly-dallying around. Game is set for 4:10 first pitch, so we're just about there. We'll see how this plays out. Michael Harris will be leading off for your Atlanta Braves and in center field, followed by Ozzie Albies at second. Marcell Ozuna, the designated hitter, batting third. Matt Olson, cleanup at first base. Jorge Soler in right, batting fifth. Laureano in left, batting sixth. 7, 8, 9 is Darno behind the plate. Urshela at third, and Arcia at short. Marlins look like this. It'll be Norby at DH. That dude did such a bad job at third base last night. They said, man, we don't want you anywhere near the field. But he is a pretty solid hitter. Designated hitter leading off. Hits lefties much better than righties with Max on the mound today. That would be the reasoning for that. Berger is at third. Bride batting third is at first. And Hill is batting cleanup in left. Lopez is batting fifth at second base. Sanoa playing short, batting sixth. And your 7, 8, 9 is Sanchez in right. Pache in center. And Fortes on the mound, behind the plate, excuse me. On the mound is Aller. He's doing his final warm-up tosses. I think they had some kind of a presentation pregame, and that's what the holdup is. But you're not wrong. It was set for 4:10 Eastern, as we are there. Yes, Jonathan, the Mets and Braves have the same start time today. Milwaukee starts at 7:10 tonight. We are just set for pitch-by-pitch, play-by-play. Yes, sir! It is baseball time in Braves country. First pitch on the way is a fastball up top to Michael Harris II. Taking first strike, it's 0-1. The 0-1, righty-lefty. Pitcher comes set, swing and a miss, curveball down around below his shoes, 0-2. So an 0-2 count. Standing on deck, Ozzie Albies. Pitch on the way. Swing and a miss. 95 right down the pipe. Struck him out. What a way. Most of your Braves batters have not seen Aller. If they have, they've only seen him a few times. So I would say the first time through the lineup is going to be a little rough going. Ozzie Albies' righty-righty matchup is he's not batting left-handed. as of yet. First pitch on the way is a curveball up top. It's 0-1. The 0-1. Comes set. Kicks and fires. Up top, misses high. 1-1. Went with the slurve on that one. So a 1-1 count. Braves in their road blue tops, gray pants. Like to see that. They've been hitting better with those on. The 1-1, outside wide, 2-1. And as we always say, we're not superstitious, but you got to be a little stitious around here. Every time they've worn those blue tops, they've cracked the 5-run mark. And that's saying something for this year. The 2-1, swing and a miss, four-seam fastball up top, 2-2. I was a little surprised to see him go back to gray last night after having such success with them on Wednesday and Thursday. The 2-2 swing, chops it over to short. Their third baseman cuts in front of the shortstop. That was almost a nasty collision between Berger and Sanoa. Berger makes the play. 5-3 put out, 2 down. Slow rolling ball. Luckily for Berger, Sanoa didn't continue to charge it because, well, maybe more lucky for Sanoa because Berger's much bigger. He probably would have planted him into shallow center field. So 2 quick outs. Marcell Ozuna, the batter, swing and a miss. It's 0-1. The 0-1. Righty. Kicks and fires. Outside wide, 1-1. The 1-1 count. Pitcher has asked for a new ball. Here we go with the 3D. The 1-1. Kicks and fires. Pitch. Down and away, 2-1. Aller, just 11 pitches in. You'd like to see him use some of his pitches and wear a little down. The main thing is he came in with a 5.4 ERA today. The 2-1. Swing ripped over into left center field. That's going to get through for a base hit. And your Atlanta Braves have 1 on, 2 out. Here to start the top of the first inning. Good piece of hitting by Ozuna. You know, he's always seemed to come out of his shell when he comes to Miami. He hasn't gone yard yet, but he has put some good swings on the ball. Hammered that ball past the shortstop. That'll bring Matt Olson to the plate. Matt Olson. Righty-lefty matchup. The first pitch from Aller. Inside. Had to bend out of the way a bit. It's 1-0. Philly has taken a 1-0 lead, by the way, the 1-0. Kicks and fires up top. 1-1. So a 1-1 count. Aller comes set, his 15th pitch of the afternoon, brings it. Check swing, pop up into left center field. That's going to be a lazy fly ball, and that'll end the inning. Center fielder on the play, Christian Pache makes the play. Braves put 1 on, but can't get him across. We'll be back in a flash here on Braves Country.
I wish I could say the D word.
What'd you say?
I said I wish I could say the D word.
Okay, I hate to ask, but what is the D word?
Will I get in trouble if I say it?
Well, I don't know if you're going to get in trouble because I don't know what you think the D word is.
So can I say it?
All right, just say it so I know what you're talking about. Maybe I shouldn't have asked.
How could it be moose for 1 and then moose for 3 or 4? That don't make no sense.
Okay. You've never heard meese. You've never heard somebody refer to moose as meese. You've never heard that. Have you ever heard that?
Well, first of all, we live in LA. Ain't no meese out here.
Larry McPhail was a banker's hard-drinking son, a born promoter, impatient with tradition, desperate to find new ways to boost attendance and rescue his club from bankruptcy in the midst of the Depression. And he hired a young Southerner named Walter Barber, who had never even seen a major league game, to do the play-by-play.
Anything new has to establish itself and gain its own credentials. When radio came along, some of the entrenched conservative owners said, wait a minute, why give away something that you're trying to sell for your living, to try and keep your enterprise afloat? And especially on days of threatening weather, when people would say, well, it looks like it may rain, I'll just listen to the radio and I won't go. They did not realize at that time that it would be creating new fans, that it would be making families of fans. Before radio, by and large, the people who came into a ballpark were men. Once radio came along and came into the homes, women began to understand the game. They didn't have to have somebody explain it to them. The play-by-play broadcaster was doing it. And attendance visibly went up when you had families coming instead of single members of the family. Radio made new fans.
Oh, man, it couldn't be a nicer afternoon. This is the one we've been waiting for. Baseball.
Welcome back. Welcome to the Country Club, Daniel. First pitch on the way to Norby is chopped foul down the left field line, past third base. It's on 1. Connor Norby stands in with an 810 OPS, batting .262. Lefty righty, Mad Max deals, swing, lifts it into center field, going back on the track, over his head, making the jumping catch is Michael Harris II. 75% of the world covered by water, the rest by the Hawk. Wow, one away. Money Mike got a good beat on that, and it went over. He was running to his left, going back, and the ball actually started going over the other shoulder. He had to adjust the glove and catch it kind of awkwardly. Hell of a grab. First pitch to Jake Berger. Curveball in the outer edge for a strike. It's 0-1. The 0-1. Max Fried normally pitches well here in Miami. We need a big start out of him today. The 0-1 from Fried. Swing and a miss up top. 95 miles an hour. 1-1. The 1-1 count. Fried comes set, lifts his glove, brings it. Swing, chops it down the third base line. Foul. It's 0-2. We just added the Mad Max emoji. We had a hard time loading it in, but it should be good to go now for all you Country Club members. You might have to refresh your page. I think that's how you have to do it when you can't put it until late. The 0-2 pitch, curveball in the dirt, 1-2. Braves nothing, Marlins nothing. Philly leads 1-0 in the first against the Mets. The Mets are batting with the runner in scoring position. The 1-2 from Max. It's working kind of slow for Max today. He normally works a little faster. The 1-2. Swing, hammers it over to second. Scoop by Ozzie, flips it to Olsen. 4-3 put out, 2 down. Two down. Lefty-righty matchup. Bride, the batter. First pitch, 95 right down the track. It's 0-1. Where in the world does the beef think she's going? The 0-1. Sweeper down and in. Did he go around? I guess he didn't. 1-1. So a 1-1 count. Max Fried, 9 pitches in. You'd love a really quick 1-2-3 here. The 1-1 from Mad Max. Curve ball. Just misses the zone, I guess. Maybe an inch or so below 2-1. The 2-1. Kicks and fires. Right there on the outer edge. Good changeup. 2-2. Beef, this is work. Don't tell me you're working. This is work. We got to work our way into the playoffs somehow. The 2-2, Jonah Bride, 7 home runs on the year, 737 OPS, 30 RBI. The 2-2 brings it. Sweeper down and in. Did he go around? He did not. Full count. So a full count to Bride, trying to keep a clean slate here in the first. Mad Max, the payoff pitch. Swing, chops it back up the middle. Through the wicket. That ball was smoked in between Max Fried's legs. He wisely got the heck out of the way of that one. I think he was hoping someone was back there, but that ball, that was a worm burner. There was no way anyone was getting to that. You would literally have to be standing over there. With the right-hander up, they had the shift to the other side. So ripped to just to the left of the second base bag. 1 on, 2 out. First pitch. Curveball on the outer edge. It's 0-1. Lefty-righty matchup. Hill calls for time. Looks like he had something in his eye or something, so he's wiping it away from his brow. The 0-1. Kicks and fires. Down and away, 1-1. So a 1-1 count. If anybody missed the morning show, we started a survivor pick for you NFL fans. Anybody that wants to play, you can put it in the chat here. Going forward, you'll have to put it in the Saturday morning show, but it's free to play, and you win a Braves Country prize pack because it's the 1-1 foul back 1 and 2. If you've never played Survivor, all it means is you pick a team to win in the NFL this week. Once you pick that team, you can't pick them again going forward. But it's free to play, and you'll win a Braves Country tumbler. One of the steel tumblers is the 1-2. Chop foul back behind the plate. We'll do it again. And you'll also get a gift of your choice. It'll either be a Braves Country banner. It's pretty cool for any fan cave. Then we've also got, as an option, if you want to go the football route, the team of your choice, the helmet of your choice. The 1-2, inside 2-2. Max starting to struggle here. Got the first 2 outs pretty quickly. Walked the number 3 hitter, Bride, and now Hill is at 2-2. Max now at 18 pitches. Not what you want if you're Fried. A grind in the first inning. The 2-2. Swing, slaps it down the right field line. That's going to be a fair ball. Soler trying to get a hold of it. That's going to be trouble. Here comes a runner around third. Soler screws up the exchange, and the Miami Marlins will take a 1-0 lead. Once again, Soler playing right field costs the Braves. The 1 out. See how they scored that. It realistically should be an error the way he played that. I mean, he smacked into the wall, kicked around. He didn't technically touch it, I don't believe, so they may give that a triple, and it's home cooking. But realistically, that should have been a double. Soler, I mean, I say it all the time, but it always looks like he's brand new to playing outfield. The idea that they keep putting him in right field is just unbelievable. If you're watching it on, I mean, it's almost Bad News Bears like. He slammed into the wall, and that ball is hit his way, and they're going to try to pick on him over there. He'll make this catch, and that'll end the inning. So Soler's defensive miscue leads to a run. We'll grab the bats, trailing by 1.
Tell me one thing that you trust more than President.
Gas station sushi, Somalian cruise line, prostate exam from Captain Hook, Helen Keller flying a plane, a mechanic who tells me my blinker fluid is low, breast milk from Bruce Jenner, a mixed drink from Bill Cosby, a blood transfusion from Charlie Sheen, carpooling with John F. Kennedy, going to the theater with Abe Lincoln, a girl who says, I'm fine, and a rattlesnake with a pet me sign.
Hey, yo, this message is for Apple. That new update that y'all made me do show people pictures when they call you. And now my girl know who Waffle House is. I'm probably finna get put out when I get home. Apple the fizz, bro.
Please help us understand, you did last time, why it ain't meese for plural moose.
I do not know why they created it that way. I cannot explain it because I didn't create it.
The scholar. Yeah. Okay, so look, help me understand. Mouse, mice. House, heist. Yeah, that's right. Heist.
Is heist...
So you saying that's wrong too?
House and heist.
It's supposed to be house for 1 and heist for 2 or 3.
Yeah. Heist is not even a... Have you ever heard somebody say something about a whole bunch of heists?
In 1938, MacPhail left Cincinnati and moved to New York to take over the Brooklyn Dodgers. He brought Red Barber with him.
No one ever came up with the expressions that Red Barber had. And so what he brought to New York, to the metropolitan area, was that country flavor that they were not familiar with at all. And so he became part of the language. I mean, there were just a million of them. Suddenly say, I wonder what that looks like when somebody leaps up against the wall or dives headfirst into second or bowls over the catcher. So they would come out to see what they had been listening.
Right field, back goes Ruppel, and he can't get it at the homer. A mighty smack squarely out over right field.
Welcome back. Jorge Soler will lead us off. Maybe he can get back that run. First pitch on the way. Swing! That ball's blasted deep down the left field line. If it's fair, it's gone. It is. That baby's gone! Well, there you go. He tied up the game with his miscue. He comes back with a ram-a-lamma ding-dong, zip, boom, bam. His 21st of the season. Speak it into existence, James. James in the chat, if you're listening on radio, said Soler better make up for that miscue, and he does with the first swing. 1-1 your score. I mean, that thing was a monster blast. The only question was if it was going to stay fair. It barely tucked inside the pole and ricocheted off the facade down in left field. Ramon Laureano digs in. First pitch to Ramon, outside wide for a ball. It's 1-0. I will say one thing that I think is in our favor today that I noticed pregame, because I get the feed of the there's no actual broadcast to it. It's the first pitch on the way. The 1-0 pitch on the way to Laureano. That ball is smoked into left field. And we got a one run across and nobody out in a single to start off here in the second. And I think I saw in the corner of my eye them showing a little bit of it in the Braves pregame on Bally's. I'm not 100% sure. But what I saw, that there was a camera set up, and anyways, while I'm putting all this stuff together, you can kind of see, but you can't hear anything that's being said. It's the first pitch on the way to Travis d'Arnaud is up high for a ball. It's 1-0. And they called that a strike? Good night, Irene. That ball was 3 inches above the zone. Wow. Junior Valentine's bad, but I didn't know he was that bad. Good Lord, the 0-1. Misses high. Same spot, just a little further in. 1-1. But anyways, they showed Rich Kranitz, in the dugout, and he was getting them pumped up. He was doing like a rah-rah type of speech. I have no idea what he said, but you saw the players giving him high fives. Hopefully that lights a fire, the 1-1. Slurve, that one was a strike. It's 1-2. So a 1-2 count. Thank you, Beeve. So we take the scoreboard down. 1-2. Appreciate y'all smashing that like sign.
Braves win!
Oh, I think you were talking about the other. That's okay. 1-2 count. I think we're going to go ahead and start putting the score up there anyways. The 1-2, swing and a miss, strike 3. Travis d'Arnaud down on strikes, 1 away. Please hit that like sign, or that like button. We're going to go ahead and take that down and start putting in the score of the Mets-Phillies as we go along. Philadelphia right now leads it 1-0. Pitch on the way to Urshela is right there outside for a strike. It's 0-1. The 0-1 count. Kicks and fires. Swing, lifts it into center field. Coming in, making the catch. Christian Pache, 2 away. Two down. Orlando Arce, he did hit a home run last night, stands at the plate. We know he struggled with the bat all year long, but he did rip one into the night. First pitch on the way is a slurve down and away. It's 1-0. We could get Arcia hot just for the week. It could propel us into the playoffs. He's been so bad. If a bat like that all of a sudden appears in your lineup, it could be a huge boost. There you go. There's the score. Philly 1-0 over the Mets in the second. The 1-0. Down and away. Good take. Curveball outside. 2-0. 2-0 count. Michael Harris II stands on deck. Braves and Marlins tied at 1. If you're just joining us, Jorge Soler's 21st home run tied it up just moments ago. Oller's going to flip it over to first to make sure Laureano's on the up and up. Remember, he got thrown out at second by a hair last night. It was a strike him out, throw him out. Arcia at the plate, the 2-0. Swung on, chopped back, foul. 2-1. The 2-1. Oller, by the way, he's about to throw his 28th pitch of the game, so he's okay on that front. The 2-1 pitch. Swing, slaps it back, foul. 2-2. You got to figure Oller's going to try to get him to chase that bender outside. That's been the name of the game when folks have faced Orlando Arcia here recently. The 2-2. Did he go around? He did. Strike 3. Arcia doesn't even fight it. He just slung the bat before they even called the strike. Unbelievable. We'll be back in a flash. We can't trade that guy fast enough in November.
Mouse, mice, right? House, heist. It makes sense, man. You right,
No,
bro.
you all are making up words. These words you've never heard. Like, just because it rhymes doesn't make it a word. Like, listen, like, I don't understand. Like, we went to the same school. I don't know where we missed each other and how the lines crossed. I don't know what happened. I don't. But listen, that's not a word. It's just house.
So it's okay for you to make up words, but we can't.
I'm not making up words. Look, I'm done, bro. Trying to help y'all grow, man. You teaching 5-year-olds me. I'm scared for our future.
It's very important that when you get in the batter's box to prepare to hit a baseball, you're fearless. You can't be scared of getting hit with the ball. If you're scared of getting hit with the ball, if you're back on your heels and the scout's watching in the stands, he's going to put a big X down by your name. It means you have no chance of ever becoming a baseball player. So don't be scared of getting hit with the ball. Look at it like this. If you get hit with the ball, you get to go to first base. That makes it faster to get around the home and score a run. So we're not scared. We're in the batter's box. Now, the next thing, we got to get a stance that feels comfortable to us. Don't try to copy my stance, or don't copy George Brett's stance or Wade Boggs' stance or Mike Schmidt's stance. Get the stance that's comfortable to you. I just happen to have a stance that's pretty well spread out because I hit off my back foot. And don't worry about how you stand or how you look. And I don't hit the ball on a plate. If I hit it over the plate, that's a foul ball. So you hit the ball out in front of the plate, 8 inches out in front of the plate. You have to hit the ball out in front in order to hit a fair ball.
My first memory of baseball is radio. Listening on the car radio to Red Barber talking from Ebbets Field in Brooklyn. My father wanted to know how the games were going on. He was following Brooklyn. My mother and I was an only child, driving in the car, began to listen, I suppose, out of self-defense. And both of us, at about the same time, my mother and I, became caught up in the drama of the game.
DiMaggio swinging at the whistling line, drive to left center field. It's a base hit. It's taken on the second hop.
Welcome back to Braves Country Baseball. First pitch on the way from Max Fried is a four-seam just off the plate, called for a wide strike. It's 0-1. The 0-1 lefty-righty matchup. Sanoa batting .308 on the year. Max brings it. Curveball, chop foul down the line, 0-2. Max Fried, what you'll see from him is a mix of a four-seam fastball 34% of the time, the curve 21% of the time, the change 16%, and the slider 14%. He has a total of 7 pitches he uses, so he will also mix in as the 0-2. Swung on, chopped over towards third. It's going to be a 5-3 putout. Gio to Olsen, one away. Just to keep you honest, he'll mix in a sweeper and a cutter. The cutter he uses very rare, 4% of the time. Braves 1, Marlins 1. Lefty-lefty matchup here. Sanchez, the batter, the number 7 hitter. Takes the pitch outside wide. It's 1-0. The 1-0. Sweeper down and away. 2-0. Jesus Sanchez batting .247 on the year, 17 home runs, 62 RBI. Normally up in the lineup with a righty around the third or fourth spot. The 2-0. Down below the knees, 3-0. So they're pitching around Sanchez for whatever reason, and now it's a 3-0 count. Max steps off the rubber, gets ready. He's set. The pitch. Swing, chops it over towards second. Ozzy's got to hurry, scoops, flips it with his glove. 4-3 put out. You got to love that. 2 away. Nifty play by Ozzy. He says he doesn't need a wrist. He'll just use his glove. Two down. That's a nifty play right there. I know a lot of players practice that all the time, but to pull it off like that when a guy's busting it down the line takes nerves of steel. The 0-1 right there at the knees. Looked like that sweeper hit. It missed. 1-1. So a 1-1 count. Mets have taken a 2-1 lead. The 1-1 chopped over to third. 5-3 put out. And that'll end the inning. 3 up, 3 down. We'll grab the bats. Acuna's little brother just hit a solo shot in New York to give the Metropolitans the advantage over the Phillies.
It's a matrix of like finding a woman. You only get to pick two. So you've got the triangle. You've got hot at the top. Yep. You've got sane, and then you've got single. Yeah. Okay. You only get to pick two. Okay. So basically, if she's hot and she's sane, then she's definitely not single. If she's hot and she's single, she's definitely not sane.
I agree with this. This is the best matrix I've ever seen.
And if she's sane and she's single, well, she's definitely not hot.
I'll get to the bottom of this. Yeah. All right. Well, what was the name on the order? Spider-Man. That's very clever. Yeah.
Ask him how it's possible for him to talk to you through a cut phone wire.
How is it possible for you to talk to me through a cut phone?
Holy, Dennis is Spider-Man.
No one is Spider-Man.
Dad?
Yep.
It's my birthday.
Happy birthday.
You got anything to say?
What? Yeah, I said it already. It's happy birthday. What do you want?
Well, okay. Am I getting any gifts?
I don't know. That's Mom's department, not mine.
Do I at least get the day off?
Nobody gets a day off on their birthday. You gotta work.
You get the day off when you're
My birthday's on Christmas. Everybody gets the day off.
Including you.
Including me, yeah.
Look, so you don't know if I got any gifts.
Okay, let's talk about not what you're getting. Let's talk about what you're not getting. You're not getting kicked out of the house. You don't gotta turn in your cell phone. You don't gotta start paying for your own car insurance today. Let's be thankful of what's not happening to you. And move along. Happy birthday.
What an 18th, am I right?
Yep.
The road may come to an end here, Gehrig wrote his wife. Seems like our backs are to the wall, but there usually comes a way out. Where and what, I know not.
For the past 2 weeks, you've been reading about a bad break. That I might have been given a bad break, but I've got an awful lot to live for.
You're listening to Braves Country Radio with Mac Magee, the classic call of Braves Country Baseball. Welcome back. First pitch on the way is a curveball slapped over towards the left-hand side, and it ricochets off the glove of the shortstop. Man, that ball was smoked. Sanoa, that ball ate him up. It's going to be an infield single, I would think. And your Atlanta Braves have one on, nobody out to start the inning. Right to the teeth of the defense, but that took a nasty hopper. We'll have to see how they play that. I believe they're giving him a single. As of right now, it is a single, so we'll see how they continue that. First pitch on the way to Ozzie, swung on, fouled off. It's 0-1. I saw the question by Scott asking, does Philly have their full lineup in? They have not clinched, Scott. All they've clinched is a playoff berth, which is not something that you celebrate if you're the Phillies. They have not clinched the division. They still need a win today to do that. Is the 0-1. Swung on, pops it up. High in the sky, can of corn. Middle of the infield. Making the catch on the pitcher's mound is Jonah Bride, the first baseman. One away. You also got to look at the big picture as well for the Philadelphia Phillies. They did not come into this season getting excited to make the playoffs. And they have not been decimated by injuries like the Atlanta Braves have. So for them to celebrate just making the playoffs, just like the Yankees did not really make a celebration of them making the playoffs. I saw somebody do it the other day, and it was goofy because I thought to myself, is the first pitch on the way is a four-seam fastball. Foul back, it's 0-1. Oh, it was the Cleveland Guardians. They celebrated like they had champagne and everything in the locker room. And you got to realize they haven't clinched the division yet. And they're still, and they're like 7 games in front of Kansas City as the 0-1 smack foul 0-2. But then again, that was also Vogt's very first year as a manager, so I kind of get that. But most teams nowadays, unless it's down to the wire like the Braves and Mets, are not going to celebrate making the playoffs. If there's still a ways to go, they want the division, and they might have a celebration for the division for Philadelphia. Is the 0-2 outside 1 and 2, but they've only guaranteed themselves a playoff berth. Their magic number is 2, which means if they beat the Mets today, they will clinch, or tomorrow. But the other thing is they're trying to chase down the top record in baseball. They're going to flip over first to keep Harris close by. Right now, the Phillies and the Dodgers sit atop Major League Baseball with 92 wins. And the team that finishes with the highest is going to get home field advantage throughout the playoffs through the World Series, the 1-2. Up top misses 2-2. But I'll tell you right now, I'll say this now, and I look, I could be wrong. Been wrong before about a lot of things. But I don't think the Phillies are making a deep run like they think they are, because their pitching, their starting pitching, has fallen apart these last several weeks. The 2-2. Swing! That ball's ripped into left field. Another base hit by Marcell Ozuna. It's 2 on, 1 out here in the top of the third. That's why if Atlanta can just get into the playoffs. Yes, Beef, the score's on the screen if you haven't been paying attention to that. 2 on, 1 out. That'll bring Matt Olson to the plate. Man, could he change this with one swing? First pitch, inside, 1-0. They're also, both the Dodgers and the Phillies are also trying to make sure that they have a first-round bye. Milwaukee has not been eliminated from that yet. Milwaukee is 4 games back of both of them. So if either one of them falters, they could end up playing in the first round. The 1-0 swung on, foul back. It's 1-1. The 1-1 count. Runners at first and second, 1 out. Braves and Marlins tied at 3. The 1-1. Right down the pipe on the inner cut, 94-mile-an-hour fastball, 1-2. Ozuna at first, Harris at second. The 1-2 from Aller, his 41st pitch of the night. Swing! That ball's belted down the right field line, but foul. That had plenty of distance. Started curving about 3/4 down the line. Missed the foul pole by several feet. The 1-2, inside 2-2. Tried to give him a chase, that slurve below his feet. Infield is back. They're playing pretty straight up. A little bit of a shift to the right, but not overly trying to stay in double play depth. The 2-2. Inside misses, high and wide. Full count. So a full count to Olson with Jorge Soler, who's already hit a home run today, standing on deck. You'd love to see the base juiced or better for Jorge. The payoff pitch. Outside wide, ball 4. Wow. That ball, that was almost pitch out territory. You'd think they might come out there and talk to him on that one. That was nowhere near the zone. So we'll have ducks all over the pond. And Jorge Soler, who hit a home run his last time up, standing at the plate. Can he go back to back? Stottlemyre, the pitching coach, is out there talking to Aller, and the infield is with him. Stottlemyre might be saying something to the effect of, I think it's these jerseys. These jerseys suck. They've got, they're red with white pinstripes, baby blue hats, dark blue bill, a red band around the hats, white pants. Only thing missing is like disco roller skates. They're not as ugly as Phillies, but man, do they give them a run. Oller back to work, bases loaded, 1 out. The first pitch. Curveball down and away, tried to give him to chase. It's 1-0. The 1-0. Comes set. Kicks and fires. Up top, misses high. 2-0. So with that being said about the race, think about this. You are pulling for the Dodgers to lose some games this week, as well as the Phillies after the Mets series, to make those games next weekend important, because the New York Mets travel to Milwaukee. So you want Milwaukee putting their best foot forward, because they still have an outside chance of getting that bye. The 2-0 pitch. Swing. Pops it up. High. Will it stay in play? Unfortunately, it will. Over in foul territory, making the catch is Bride. 2 away. Jorge Soler with the 2-0 count. Chased a fastball. Top shelf. Never should have offered at that, and he knows it. That'll bring Ramon Laureano to the plate. With 2 outs, the infield will now be straight back. Laureano, 1-for-1 with a single in the second. He's raised his batting average up to 264. First pitch, swinging, and that ball's hit into fly ball territory into right field. Lazy fly ball, and just like that, the threat is done. My God. Can Kranitz take over the hitting coach duties next year? This is ridiculous.
There are 5 Little Debbie snacks they no longer make that they need to bring back. Debbie, I hope you're watching this. Number 5 is orange cream cakes. This was like summertime in a box. Taking a bite of one of these was just like eating an orange creamsicle, except it didn't melt all over you and make you look like Garfield. Number 4 is the Little Debbie cracker. I don't think Debbie had anything to do with this one. I think Oreo knew that when she did this, and she did it really well, she was coming for them next. I'm on to you, Nabisco. Number 3 is the Boston cream rolls. These were delicious, but they suffered some branding issues. See, this is the South, Little Debbie's a Southern thing, and nobody wants Boston anything. So just change the name, Debbie. Bring them back and make them the Biloxi cream rolls. Oh no, that's a bad idea. Number 2 are the PBJ oatmeal pies. I don't have to explain this to you. Look at this. I don't know why this went away, but it needs to come back because I feel like we are so close to Little Debbie making a fried bologna cookie. Just trust me, it will be delicious. Number 1 hurts because the wound is still fresh. Banana Twins, I don't know where they went. I don't even want to ask because nothing makes sense anymore. I just know that one day I know they'll be reunited because all of the world's greatest foods are at the banquet table in heaven. And I know right by Jesus is probably a box of Banana Twins.
Armchair.
In 1907, Albert Goodwill Spaulding insisted that Abner Doubleday had invented baseball at Cooperstown, New York in 1839. It wasn't true. But on June 12, 1939, the game's dubious centennial, the National Baseball Hall of Fame officially opened its doors in Cooperstown. 12 great figures from the game's past, selected by the Baseball Writers of America, were to be inducted, including Christy Mathewson, who had died in 1925, and Ty Cobb, who refused to appear in the official photograph, just to spite his ancient enemy, Kennesaw Mountain Landis. Babe Ruth waited to make a grand entrance, sweeping in to huge applause just as the band began to play Take Me Out to the Ball Game. He had forgotten his time.
Welcome back to Braves Country Baseball. Max Fried will go back to work. Lefty-righty matchup to start it off. Nick Fortes, the number 9 hitter, takes the 4-seam fastball out high and wide. It's 1-0. Braves 1, Marlins 1, bottom of the third. The 1-0. Curveball, teardrop at the knees. 1-1. Nick Fortes, the hind catcher, batting .231 on the year. 1-1. Swing and a miss over the top of the changeup, 1-2. Braves and Marlins at it again tomorrow. 1:40 first pitch. That game will be over on Cover Country Radio. The chat will be up. We'll be back at it play-by-play, pitch-by-pitch for the entire Mets series. And as long as we're still in it and haven't clinched all week long next week. The 1-2. Swing, chops it over towards short. Barehanded by Arcia. Fires it across the diamond. A Gold Glove play indeed. 6-3 put out, one away. What an absolute gem. Holy cow. He had to charge that ball, barehand it, and all in one motion rip it over to first, off balance, and he did not miss a beat. First pitch on the way. Sweeper up top, it's 0-1. If he took nearly as much pride in his offense as he does in his defense, what a player he would have been. The 0-1. Curve ball, outer edge. 0-2. Might have gotten the call there, but we'll take it. The 0-2 count. Fastball 96 miles an hour, about 4 inches off the plate, 1-2. Might have been setting him up there for something. Braves 1, Marlins 1, bottom of the third. The 1-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Pulled the string on that changeup, 2 away. Good pitch by Max. Believe it or not, his first strikeout of the game. He's not walked anybody. That's unlike Max isn't what you consider a strikeout pitcher, but normally he gets about a handful or so in a 6-inning affair. Jake Berger, the batter, lefty-righty, first pitch, curveball, right there. Up top, it's 0-1. The 0-1. Kicks and fires. Curveball in the dirt, 1-1. 1-1 count. When the Braves grab the bats in the fourth, it'll be Darno, Urshela, and Arcia. If anybody gets on the top of the lineup, the 1-1 swing and a miss, curveball, 1-2. One, 2. Max Fried at 42 pitches. If he can get out here, very economical so far. The 1-2 from Max. Looks into Travis. Turns and brings it. Swing and a miss, strike 3. He's got that changeup working, pulling the string. We'll be back in a flash here on Braves Country. Tied up, heading to the fourth.
What are you looking at, you dirty old skank? What are you looking at, Popeye? What are you looking at, you piece of road trash? What are you looking at? Jeez, I can smell you from over here. What are you looking at me for? I'm not a bottle of Jim Beam.
Hey, Braves Country, I'm Mac Magee. Join us for Pitch by Pitch, Play by Play, the classic call of Braves Country baseball. We're bringing you Atlanta Braves baseball all year long. Jump into our pregame show, Braves Country Today, just before first pitch. Stick around for the postgame show, Braves Country Tonight, where we will open up the phone lines and react to your calls or your comments all year long. That's Braves Country Radio, pitch by pitch, play by play, your home for the classic call of Braves Country baseball.
Went to the WNBA Finals in Brooklyn.
Where'd you sit?
Get 100 levels.
Like the lower levels? That's the lower? Okay. What'd you do with the rest of your $20?
It measures just 9 inches in circumference, weighs only about 5 ounces, and is made of cork wound with woolen yarn covered with 2 layers of cowhide and stitched by hand precisely 216 times. It travels 60 feet 6 inches from the pitcher's mound to home, and it can cover that distance at nearly 100 miles an hour. Along the way, it can be made to twist, spin, curve, wobble, rise, or fall away. The bat is made of turned ash, less than 42 inches long, not more than 2 3/4 inches in diameter. The batter has only a few thousandths of a second to decide to hit the ball. And yet the men who fail 7 times out of 10 are considered the game's greatest heroes.
Welcome back to Braves Country Baseball. See the score being updated on your screen in Philadelphia. The first pitch on the way to Travis d'Arnaud is outside wide for a ball. It's 1-0. For those of y'all listening on radio, New York leads Philadelphia 2-1. They're heading to the 4th inning. The 1-0. Swing and a miss over the top. 1-1. Travis d'Arnaud struck out swinging his first time up. Gio Urshela stands on deck. Arcia in the hole. The 1-1. Right there at the knees. Curveball, 1-2. Little surprised that they haven't put Whit Merrifield in the lineup one of these games. The 1-2 count. You might see it tomorrow. They may give Ozzie a day off. The 1-2, swing and a miss. 1 away. But more so, I would have thought that Merrifield would be over at third to get his bat in the lineup. I think putting him at short would be a little bit of a stretch on the defensive side of it. If you could make it work, it would be ideal, but I think you're better off putting Whit at third, letting him play third until you either have a lead or deep in the game. First pitch, check swing by Urshela. That's going to be an excuse me out. 2 down. Just falling backwards, and the bat head just got out in front of the plate, and it smacked it almost like a bunt. And Urshela lost his balance so that they had plenty of time to react. So another lost at bat there by Gio. He's done a good job filling in for Riley, but you would love to have a bat like Merrifield in there instead. The first pitch on the way. Swung on, popped it back foul. It's 0-1. The 0-1. No, John, his foot's fine. I mean, it's not fine, but it's as fine as it's going to be. The 0-1 in the dirt, 1-1. Snicker was quoted as saying a couple of days before Ozzie came back that they were going to find a way to work him into the lineup, but you know, these games are more and more important as they go, and maybe they think they need to save him for late in the game pinch hitting type roles. The 1-1 swung on, foul back. 1-2. When you're playing the Marlins and you have the pitching advantage, I'd rather give him the first 3 at bats of the game and then put someone in for defensive replacement as opposed to the other way around. Because the runs have just come by so ridiculously uneven. 1-2, swing and a miss, strike 3. Another bat at bat by Arcia, and that'll end the inning. 3 up, 3 down. We'll head to the bottom of the 4th, tied at 1.
Yo. Hey, I got some news, bro. Katie is no longer my girlfriend. Thank God, I hated that.
What the Jeff?
I was gonna say she's not my girlfriend, man. She's my fiance. Hi, Katie. Congrats, guys.
Armchair.
Satchel Paige always thought he was the greatest pitcher in the world, and Josh Gibson thought he was the greatest hitter in the world, and we did too. And Satchel and Josh in this World Series ball game, Satchel pitching, and we got a ball game 1. The Kansas City Monarchs went 2 out in the 9th inning. First place hitter, he tripped on Satchel. We got 2 out, so that didn't bother us any at all. So Satchel called me, he said, come in. I said, what do you want, Satchel? He said, let me tell you what I'm thinking to do. He said, I'm going to walk Howard Easterland. I'm going to walk Buck Leonard. I'm going to pitch to Josh Gibson. I said, man, don't be facetious. He said, that's what I'm going to do. I said, time. I called the manager, who was Frank Duncan. I said, Frank, you got to listen to what Satchel said. And so Satchel told him what was going to happen. Now, when he was walking Buck, Josh was in the circle. He talking to Josh all the time. Said, Josh, do you remember the day? Told you that one day we were going to meet and we were going to see who was the best. He said, yeah, I know what you're talking about. Satchel said, all right. Said, now it's the time to prove this thing. So when Josh comes up to the bat, listen, let me tell you what this man did. He said, "Now I'm ready. So I'm going to throw you some fastball. I'm going to throw you a fastball, belt high, boom. Strike one. Josh didn't move the bat. He said, "Now I'm going to show you another fastball, boom, strike two." He said, "Now, Josh, I've got you 2 strikes and no balls. You know, in this situation, I'm supposed to knock you down, brush your back." He said, "But I'm not going to throw any smoke at your yoke. I'm going to throw a pea at your knee. Boom. Strike 3. And when he struck him out and he walked off the field and walked by me and said, nobody hit Satchel."
Welcome back to Braves Country Baseball. First pitch on the way is a changeup. Must have missed down, I guess. It's 1-0. Looked like it hit the corner zone. Lefty, righty, Jonah Bride the batter. He's 1 for 1. The pitch. 4-seam inside, 2-0. Two-0 count. Kicks and fires. Right there down Main Street. 2-1. Braves 1, Marlins 1. We're here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Max Fried, 46 pitches in. Brings it. Right there, sinker on the outer edge. Evens up the count, 2-2. Two count. Max Fried comes set. Sweeper bang foul down the third base line, 2-2. New York Mets series beginning Tuesday night. Pitch play by play of your Atlanta Braves right here on Braves Country Radio. All 3 of those games are night games. 7:20 first pitch. The 2-2. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Wow. One away. That was a pretty curveball. Just painting the outer edge. If you're Bride, you don't think that ball is ever going to get there. It was just hung up and parachuted in for a strike. First pitch to Hill, who's 1 for 1, swung on and pops it back down the first base line. Foul out of the reach of Olsen, 0-1. Hill ripped one into the right field corner just past the diving Matt Olsen his first time up. Jorge Soler slammed into the wall, missed playing it, and a run came around to score. It's what I assume most of us would look like after about 8 beers trying to field a ground ball out in a softball league. The 0-1, up high and inside, 1-1. So a 1-1 count. Pitch, swing, rattles it off the face mask of Travis, and I think it got a piece of home plate umpire Junior Valentine. They're both checking themselves. It's funny because they're having a conversation. They're both checking on each other. I don't think they realized the ball actually hit both of them. Rattled off of Travis's face mask, the cage that sits in front of him, and then it got a piece of Valentine in the same way. And it must have just ricocheted both of them barely where the other one's checking on the first one. The 1-2 from Fried. 53rd of the afternoon. Change up outside wide, 2-2. Standing on deck is Lopez. The 2-2 from Max. Zips it up there, 96 outside wide, full count. Full count now. Last thing you want to do is start putting free ducks on the pond. Travis sets up inside, the payoff pitch. Swing, fouls it back. Fastball, top shelf, Braves 1, Marlins 1, bottom 4. The payoff pitch. Swing, chops it over towards short. Arcia's got it, fires it across the diamond. A laser into the glove of Matt Olson. 2 down. Two away. Lopez, the batter, first pitch. 95 right down the pipe for a strike. It's 0-1. The 0-1 to Otto Lopez. He's 0 for 1 with a fly out. Curveball, swing and a miss. Flips it right around his knees. 0-2. Max Fried, 58 pitches in, so a good number at this mark of the game. You'd love to see Max go 6 at least of 1-run ball. The 0-2. Changeup misses down and away, 1-2. Max now with 3 strikeouts. So he's ticked that up a little bit. He's given up just 2 hits, 1 earned run. The 1-2 from Fried. Swing, hammers it over to short, backhanded by Arcia. He'll rip it across to first base, and that'll end the inning. 6-3 put out. Nothing wrong with that man's glove. He needs to rub it on his bat. We'll be back in a flash.
You know, I'll never make fun of socially awkward men because I, too, am socially awkward around girls for some reason. Like, I don't know what it is. Like, I want to be your friend so bad that my brain just, like, locks up. Like, today, this girl, I was like, you're so pretty. She's like, oh, my God, you are too. And I was like, wow, she's, like, really nice. And then I was just so happy thinking about it, and I just wasn't thinking. And I took out a curb pulling out of the gas station, and I skimmed up the side of a stop sign.
Pro marriage tip. When your wife makes you something to eat and it's not that good, just explain to her in detail how your mother would make it, and then she'll strive to be more like your mom, and that way you can train her well. That it was kind of dry.
Dad, can you help me with that?
Your mother already told you what to do. This is just your DMV paperwork in your car.
Send them the money without all the forms?
No, the forms, you have to send the forms. It's like going to the bathroom. The job's not done till the paperwork's finished.
One is baseball, and the other is opera. Fortunately enough, they fall in different seasons. Opera is in the winter, and baseball is in the summer. And people asking me, how can you like both? They are different. And I say, oh no, they are exactly the same thing. Opera is an epiphanic art. Now, you go to a baseball game and observe what happens in a baseball game many times. The pitcher has a ball, and then suddenly he hits the ball, and that is the epiphany. It's a show forth. Everything comes at that time. It's a moment of great action, and I find the similarity right there. So for me, I say this, when I retired, I would get a part-time job in a baseball stadium in the summer and then in an opera house in the winter, and that'd be heaven for me.
Welcome back. Top of the order, Michael Harris II leads us off. The first pitch, swing, pops it up. Lazy fly ball into center field. Camping underneath it. Calling fair catches Pache, 1 away. Mets and Phillies are tied at 2 apiece, as you probably see on your screen now. Nick Castellanos with the home run. The only bad thing that the Phillies have done here is the starter, one of their better starters, and we'll see him in the series, Sean Manaea, he is only at 55 pitches, and they're already halfway through the 5th. First pitch to Ozzie Albies is down and away for a ball, 1-0. Ozzie, 0 for 2 with a pop out, a ground out. Righty-righty matchup. The pitch in the dirt, bounces away. 2-0. The 2-0 count. Braves 1, Marlins 1. We're here in the 5th inning. The infield is back and to the left. The 2-0. That ball's nowhere near the zone. 3-0. Ball chopped in front of the mound and bounced to the backstop. So a 3-0 to Ozzie. You would hope that he would wait for his pitch here. Aller having a hard time finding the zone to come into the 5th. The 3-0 pitch. Right there at the knees, 3-1. Good take by Ozzie nonetheless. That was a pitcher's pitch. The 3-1. Pitch on the way. Swing. Pops it back foul. 93 miles an hour. Full count. It's funny. I saw some things online last night while I was goofing around on X, and I don't post a whole lot, but I read a ton. And some of the Braves fans is the payoff pitch. Swing, pops it up. Is that going to stay in play? They're giving chase over by the first base dugout. Just passed and out of play. We'll do it again. And the idea, so many of these fans are giving up and think that the Braves have no shot of doing anything in the playoffs, even if they get in. And that's just not the case. When you have the best pitching staff in baseball and you've got all this power, all it takes is a few runs a game in the postseason to win those things. The payoff pitch, swing, Baltimore chopper down the left field, third base line. That's going to roll for a base hit, and that's how you get on, Ozzie. How about that? That was a good old-fashioned Baltimore chopper, made famous by the Atlanta Brave franchise way back when they were in Boston. Perfected by the Baltimore Orioles, not those Baltimore Orioles, the original Baltimore Orioles in the 1890s. You're watching at home, that was a play that was designed, that they practiced back in the day, where you chopped it as hard as you could on the ground to beat it out to first. 1 on, 1 out. First pitch on the way to Marcell Ozuna is swatted back foul into the upper deck. It's 0-1. Ozuna 2 for 2 on the day. The 0-1. Brings it up top, inside, 1-1. Standing on deck is Matt Olson. In the hole, Jorge Soler. Braves tied at 1 in the top of the 5th. Ozuna 2 for 2 with 2 singles. His raises batting average to .310. Sitting at 38 home runs, 101 RBI. The 1-1 swing and a miss slurve. Outer edge, 1-2. Marcell will take his time out. One-two count. Aller comes set, brings it. Up top misses. They're going to throw it down to first to try to backdoor Ozzie Albies. Ozzie's in under the tag, 2-2. Fortes thought he might be catching Ozzie napping. Braves 1, Marlins 1, Phillies 2, Mets 2. Both in the 5th inning. The 2-2. Outside wide. Tried to get him to chase that slurve. Full count. So now the cat and mouse game, does he throw an off-speed pitch and try to get him to chase, or does he challenge him? Ozzie at second base, 1 down. The payoff pitch. Aller 71st of the night. Swing! Pops it back foul. Ozzie was going on the pitch. There's not 2 outs, but I think he's banking on the fact that if it's a fastball, Ozuna is going to make contact, and if it's a bender, they're not going to be able to get him. The 3-2. Aller comes set, brings it. Bender in the dirt, ball 4. Ozzie was running on the play again. He takes a wide turn at second, but he'll put on the brakes as Fortes gets on the ball after it gets away for a little bit. We've got runners on first and second, one out. Braves once again with ducks on the pond. Can we come through? Last time out, same situation. Matt Olson was walked. Soler and Laureano popped out in 3 pitches. Time for a little pay dirt. Righty-lefty matchup. Pitch on the way. Curveball up top for a strike. It's 0-1. The other thing is, and we went over this on the Braves Country Day before these series started, if Philly does beat the Mets tonight, and they do crack the champagne, which I'm sure they would for their division, the 0-1 up high misses 1-1. It's not an all-out bet that they're going to bench folks tomorrow because, A, this is a late afternoon game. They play tomorrow night. They don't play tomorrow morning. They're on ESPN, and Zach Wheeler's on the mound, and they still believe he has a shot at the Cy Young. I believe Chris Sale's put it away, but that's what they think, the 1-1. Swing, that ball's lifted into center field. That's going to get down for a base hit. Here comes Ozzie Albies rolling around second, and your Atlanta Braves have taken a 2-1 lead. The ball gets away, but not quite far enough for Ozuna to advance. So runners on first and second, one out. Good hard hit ball. Sliced in between left and center, just not quite hard enough to get it to the wall. They were playing him over there. If that outfield defense is straight away, that may have actually gotten to the wall and scored a second run. Braves 2, Marlins 1. Soler stands in. First pitch, hanging curveball, laid off. It's 0-1. The 0-1. When you talk about all the devastating injuries the Braves have had, one that nobody talks about is the 0-1 misses high and wide 1-1. That may be the most devastating of all, just because if you talk about getting in, trying to get in the playoffs, then once you get in, the attrition of it. Losing A.J. Minter for the season, that left-handed gun from the bullpen, it really was a hard shot. The 1-1 slurve taken all the way, 1-2. That is usually one that Jorge Soler slams. I'm a little surprised he didn't take a whack at that. 1-2 count. Soler 1 for 2 has already hit a home run today. The 1-2 pitch up high, 2-2. One thing about Aller, when he misses by a ton. Braves 2, Marlins 1, top of the 5th, the 2-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Couldn't lay off that slurve in the dirt, out and away, 2 down. That was a pretty good pitch. That's one of his better slurves. That rivals the first strike that he gave to Ozuna when he chased that one out of the zone. That's probably his best pitch. He just hasn't been able to place it much. Ramon Laureano flew out his last time up. Laureano 1 for 2, singled his first at bat. We would love one here. First pitch, 93 at the knees for a strike. It's 0-1. He missed his mark. They were set up inside. Fortes had to backhand it and slide to the outside, but it was in the zone. A lot of times you don't get that call. The 0-1, righty pitch, swing, chops it over towards third, but foul, 0-2. Aller at 82 pitches now. You got to figure he's going to be looking to use that slurve once again. Laureano, an 0-2 count. The 0-2. Fortes stands up, and I guess Laureano asked for timeout. He did. He's just really sly about his timeout. Like he'll ask for timeout. Notice with Laureano, he won't even step out of the box. He just kind of resets himself and stands exactly where he was. The 0-2. Swing. Fouls it back. Do it again. Standing on deck is Darno. Braves 1 run across here in the 5th. They've taken a 1-run lead. Still 2-2. They're heading to the 6th in New York. Phillies are about to bat. The 0-2. Comes set, brings it. 94 up top, misses high. They said he went around. I don't know about that one. Strike 3, that'll end the inning, but the Braves did take the lead. It's 1-0. We head to the 5th. I'd like to see a replay on that. He barely moved his bat.
I don't know about y'all, but I sure could use some food stamps. I be tired of spending money at the grocery store. Everything's so expensive nowadays. Be aggravating. I just want a little bit of EBT, that's it. Damn. And it seems like every time I go in there, somebody done bought up all the cheap. I can't afford to keep buying this name brand. Damn, can you say some hot spicy cup noodles for me? They gone.
We're not generally comfortable in an office setting, I would say.
I am no good before 11 a.m.
I also get headaches from computers, so I can't be around them for too long.
I take stuff.
I need to have someone go up and down with me in the elevator.
I have a weakness for sweets.
I was talking to my mama today, and she said, my God, it's so hot, the humidity is horrible. And I said, yeah, I know. I feel like a meth pipe on a payday. And she just looked at me, and I was like, no, really, though. I saw 2 crackheads putting copper back in that air conditioning.
During the 1970s and 80s, the war in Vietnam came to an end, and an American president was driven from office in disgrace. The Berlin Wall came down, and the Cold War ended. Democratic ideals flourished. By 1970, the national pastime was in trouble. Attendance had not increased for more than 2 decades, and desperate owners tried everything to pump new life into the old game. Nothing worked. Now, the owners' grip on the destinies of the players was finally broken, and as their prospects improved, fans returned to the game. But old loyalties were sometimes forgotten. Now, what happened off the field, greed, scandal, strikes, seemed to overshadow the action on it. And now, as television demanded that most games be played at night, a whole generation of young fans would come of age without ever seeing a World Series game.
Welcome back to Braves Country Baseball. First pitch on the way, swung on, ripped down the third base line, rolling, just foul. Good judgment by Gio, saw it bending, and that was going to be a very tough play to make. He let it go foul. It's 0-1. We're here in the bottom of the 5th. Braves lead by only 1. Sanoa, the number 6 hitter, Sanchez 7 and Pache 8 due up. Braves infield is back into the left. Outfield's playing straight away. Lefty-righty matchup to Sanoa. Change up off the edge. It's 1-1. Javier Sanoa, 2 RBIs and a .692 OPS in his young career. The 1-1 swing lifted into center field. Moving over, making the catch is Michael Harris II, 1 away. Maybe 5 or 6 steps to his left. 1 down, Max Fried is at 63 pitches. It is still 2-2 in New York. Phillies are batting with 2 outs in the 6th. First pitch from Max to Sanchez is swung on and fouled back. It's 0-1. Sanchez 0 for 1, grounded out to second his first time. If you remember, he got ahead in the count 3-0. Max had to fight back to get him out. The 0-1. Brings it. Swing and a miss. Curveball in the dirt. 0-2. Same two teams tomorrow. It's guessed that it's probably Grant Holmes. Unless you bring someone else up. I would think they're going to go Grant Holmes. Unless they want to save him for the Mets series. And it'll be all hands on deck as the 0-2. In the dirt, 1-2. With the day off on Monday, they could make some adjustments with the roster, but as of right now, it would line up for Holmes to take the start. There is an outside shot, September 26th, Thursday, that Ronaldo Lopez could come off the IL. The 1-2 swung on, just got a piece of that, rolls it foul. They've been tight-lipped about it, so I don't know how realistic it is, but his first day of eligibility would be Thursday. 1-2 count. Max comes set and brings it. In the dirt, 2-2. Trying to get him to chase that curveball a couple of times. Thing's just bending way too hard and outside. Braves 2, Marlins 1. Bottom of the 5th. The 2-2. Flips it up there. High chopper over towards third. It's going to be a tough play by Gio. Fires it over to first. Good defensive play, but he'll beat it out. It's an infield single for the Marlins. He was way too far away from that. With the shift, they really had Gio playing a shortstop position, and that ball was hit even with the bag on a 2-bouncer. By the time he got to it, he probably should have just put it in his pocket because there was no chance of getting him. That'll bring Christian Pache to the plate. First pitch to Pache, swung on, lifted into center field. That's going to drop for a base hit. Arcia just out of his reach, and a seeing eye single makes it 1 on, or 2 on, 1 out. .95 in on his hands, and he just fisted it. Got just enough of it to get it over the head of Orlando. Said it's not how hard you hit it, it's where you hit it. And they've got 2 on, 1 out. First real threat in a while here in the bottom of the 5th. First pitch to Fortes is a sweeper up top for a strike. It's 0-1. Nick Fortes, the number 9 hitter, is also the catcher, so he would be a double play candidate. He does run a little better than most catchers, definitely better than the ones we have. But he doesn't have blinding speed. The 0-1. Max turns around. Sanchez was well off the bag, but no one was there to... Ozzie was pretty far away to be able to pick him off. The 0-1 count. Brings it. Curveball down and away. 1-1. Max Fried, 72 pitches. We're in the 5th. Not terribly high, the 1-1. Swing, fouls it back. Change up, 1-2. Must have been sitting on that curveball because that change up really jumped on him. So you got a 1-2 count. Do you go back to one of the soft pitches, or do you try to bust him inside? He's used that outside changeup with 2 strikes a few times today. The 1-2. Inside, 95. Little low, 2-2. Braves 2, Marlins 1. It's 2-2 in New York. The Mets are batting in the 6th. The 2-2. Swing, chops it foul down the third base line. Do it again. 2-2 count. Brewers and Diamondbacks tonight at 7 o'clock if you're looking for baseball. The 2-2. Swing, chops it down the line, foul. Runner at third was on the go. Looked like they had a double steal on as well. Trying to time up that curveball. They got the sweeper, but it was knocked foul. You know, you never see the Braves do any stuff like that. They just play, I call it 1970s American League Baseball. They just sit back and wait for the 3-run shot. The 2-2. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Pulled the string on that one. 2 away. That was that changeup once again that he's gotten. Now 4 strikeouts for Max Fried. 3 of them have come on that changeup on the outer edge. Runners on first and second. 2 outs now. First pitch to Norby, swinging a missed curveball. It's 0-1. May not be as much of a threat to go now. With 2 outs. Though you could, if you pull off the double steal now, you put 2 men in scoring position with 2 away. The 0-1. Curveball, swing and a miss. 0-2. Max Fried a strike from getting out of this jam. Go ahead, run at first. Tying run at second in scoring position. The 0-2. Fires it. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Tosses that curveball up there, and that'll end the inning. His 5th strikeout of the day. We'll go to the 6th. Let's get him some insurance, Braves country.
A breakup, y'all. Have y'all ever chased your dog down the street and they thinking it's a damn game? Horrible.
Of all the dangerous things we did growing up in the 70s and 80s, the most dangerous was getting in a car with our parent. I mean, it was like playing a game of Russian roulette. We had seatbelts. We couldn't use them. We had to do. Any given moment, our mom would need both hands to light her cigarette. Hey, take the wheel. Jump over and grab that wheel, and you're going down the freeway responsible for everyone in the car, and you're 8 years old. Your parents would pick up random hitchhikers and put them in the back seat with you. Sometimes they took your spot and you'd have to sit on the middle hump. You had nothing to hold on to. And mom hits a bump, you're going into the ceiling and then straight down to the floor. We fell out of moving cars all the time. It was also very normal for your mom to hit you with the car. Your mom was paying no attention to where you walked or what you were doing. She would hit that gas right when you walked in front of her car and just plow you over and then roll down the window and yell at you. You shouldn't be standing in front of the car. Like, this is how I get in the school, Mom. And now, like, it blows my mind. Cars are so safe. You have backup cameras and blind spot sensors that beep, 17 airbags, and you keep your kid facing the back window till he hits puberty. Like, we just wanted a seatbelt.
Remember, Ed's almost good beer was brewed in God's country when God wasn't looking.
Still, the family of baseball continued to grow. Larry McPhail's grandson Andy ran a team. Yogi Berra's son Dale played for a while. And one evening in California, back-to-back home runs were hit by Ken Griffey and Ken Griffey Jr. In Hoboken, New Jersey, the factory Maxwell House had built on the Elysian Fields where baseball began closed down. And that same year, the Baltimore Orioles opened a brand new, old-style ballpark on the site of the saloon once owned by the father of Babe Ruth.
Welcome back to Braves Country Baseball. First pitch on the way to Travis d'Arnaud, pops it up. Gave away that at bat. Lazy fly ball, shallow center field, 1 away. And our catchers are just dead zone right now offensively. It's hard to make an argument that they should be batting above 8th. 1 down. That'll bring Gio Urshela to the plate. Urshela 0 for 2. First pitch. Curveball right there at the knees. It's 0-1. Urshela lined out to center his first time up. His second time up. You know it's bad when it says ground out to the catcher. It's an excuse me swing that the catcher jumped up and tapped him on the chest. Well, as he was off balance. The 0-1, outside wide, 1-1. You don't get a lot of those G2s. 1-1, up top, 2-1. Braves 2, Marlins 1. The 2-1 pitch. Swing ripped over towards left field. That's going to get through for a base hit. Right in the 5-6 hole. And let's go, Braves country. Let's get some insurance on the board. Lando Arcia comes to the plate. Righty-righty matchup. First pitch on the way. Up top. For a strike, it's 0-1. So here's my argument with the way they have this constructed on the roster. Because they do not have Luke Williams on the roster as the 0-1. Swung on, chopped foul. Down the third base side, it's 0-2. And why, I do not know, or some version of Luke Williams. It's very difficult to pinch hit for Orlando Arcia or put an offensive player for him on any given day, because who do you stick at short? In theory, Eli White, but he's not exactly great at it, as the 0-2. Chopped over towards third. They're going to get Urshela on the force out, 5-4. Arcia will be safe at first. Fielder's choice, 2 away. So because they don't have Luke or some version of a shortstop to go over and play, give real innings at short, you're stuck when Arcia comes up to the plate or you need a pinch run or whatnot. Because when's the last time you saw Duvall take a meaningful at bat? They're going to go to the bullpen. We'll be back in a flash. Marlins trail the Braves 2-1. Braves with the runner at second, 2 away. We are in the 6th inning, and an update on the Phillies when we come back. Welcome back to Braves Country Baseball. Man, Bryce Harper drilled a ball into left field, and they had to make a diving catch, or falling back, leaping catch, I should say, into the wall. It's still 2-2 there in the top of the 7th in New York. Got the left-handed pitcher coming on for the Miami Marlins to face Michael Harris II. Veneziano. The first pitch on the way. Drifts a slider across the belt. It's 0-1. The 0-1. Kicks and fires. Swing and a miss. 95 right down the pipe, 0-2. Saw that 85 slider. I was wondering what his velocity was going to be. That's a nasty mix for a lefty to deal with. Anthony Veneziano, 27 years old, from Hackettstown, New Jersey. The 0-2. Swing. That ball is ripped into right field, down for a base hit. And it's a 2-out single. Runners on first and second. That'll bring Ozzie Albies to the plate. Pitcher Veneziano, by the way, played his college ball in Coastal Carolina. From Hackettstown, New Jersey, drafted by the Royals in the 10th round in 2019. He came up with the Royals in 2023. Came over to Miami about halfway through the year here. First pitch on the way to Ozzie Albies is up high and out of the zone. It's 1-0. Lefty-righty matchup. The 1-0. Swing, rips it towards third, and a line drive catch by Berger over there, or that would have been a run. That's the best swing Ozzie's put on since he's come back. Man, oh man, a game of inches. We'll be back in a flash here on Braves Country.
If you grew up in Gen X, you had your parents who told you every single day that you were like 1 second away from being murdered or kidnapped. We had to get our fingerprints and our photo taken every school year in case we got kidnapped. And if that wasn't traumatizing enough, they put all the missing kids on the side of our milk carton that we drank at lunch. Every time you got on the escalator with your mom, you were doing something wrong. You were too close to this, your shoe was too untied. They insisted that if we made one wrong move on that escalator, we were going to get sucked down into those metal teeth. I still have anxiety about escalators. They made us think we were going to die all the time.
I'm a little confused about one thing.
What's that?
Who pays for all this?
What do you mean who pays for it? The company pays for it.
All right, well then, here's my second question. What does Atwater make?
What do you mean, like, how much money does the company make?
Oh, no, I mean, what do we make?
I don't follow. We make money.
No, I know we make money. I mean, what do we create?
We create wealth.
No, I mean, what do we build? What do we design?
We don't build anything.
You have to have moments that give you pleasure with your children or your hobbies or your games. And life can't all be big issues and heart surgery. You need something to give up. Something has to bring joy into the day. I've always thought that the 6 months during the baseball season, there was something in the day that wasn't there the other 6 months in winter. It was not that you had to listen to the game, but that you could if you needed it.
The crowd is on their feet. Christian Yelich, single and a run. Very dangerous hitter. Cross everything. We're trying to get one more strike out of Will Smith. Called third strike. He got caught watching the paint dry, and that's it. The Atlanta Braves will head to the National League Championship Series. They knock out the Milwaukee Brewers. Welcome back. First pitch on the way. Swing and a miss. Change up from Max to Berger. It's 0-1. The 0-1. Swing and a miss. Change up off the edge. 0-2. Berger 0 for 2 with the ground out and a strikeout. 27 home runs on the year, so you can't just float one in there to him. They're in the bottom of the 7th now in New York. It's still 2-2, Philadelphia, and the Mets tied. The 0-2. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Ball got away a bit, but not enough. A rainbow throw down to first will get Berger jogging down the line. 1 away. One down. Jonah Bride, the batter. It's 1 for 2. First pitch, right there down the pipe. 0-1. Bride 1 for 2 with a single in the first. He scored a run. The only run so far. The 0-1 from Max. Sweeper down Out of the zone, 1-1. 1-1 count. Jonah Bride digs in the pitch, curveball up top, 1-2. See some folks asking about college football. We'll hit the scoreboard here in a second. Game's going on. The 1-2. Kicks and brings it. Bender just outside, 2-2. Arkansas and Auburn are tied in the third quarter, 7-7. SEC action. The 2-2 pitch. Misses high, full count. So full count now to Bride, standing on deck is Hill. Max might be hitting a bit of a wall here. This will just be his 89th pitch, but he is in the 6th inning. They set up outside wide. Swing! Lifts it down the right field side, but plenty foul. Do it again. Vanderbilt leads number 7 Missouri 13-10 at the half. LSU and UCLA are knotted up at 17 at the half. Earlier in SEC action, Florida over Mississippi State and Kentucky over Ohio. The payoff pitch misses high, ball 4. So Max, 1 out walk. That's not what you want. Sitting at 90 pitches. Georgia Tech is tied with Louisville. Number 19, Louisville. That game is 17-17 in the third quarter. Other games of interest. Duke all over Middle Tennessee, 35-10 at the half. First pitch to Hill is a bender outside wide. It's 1-0. Earlier today, James Madison hung 70 on the board at North Carolina, 70-50. North Carolina was down to their third string quarterback, and they got torched. The 1-0. Swing. Hits it over towards first. It's going to be just past the diving attempt of Olsen, and that's going to be a problem. They've got runners on first and second, 1 out here in the bottom of the 6th. Hard hit ball on the right side, just past the diving Olsen. If they're not holding Bride, he's going to be able to make that play. And you've got to wonder, what are you doing holding Bride? He is not a threat at all. Kranitz will make his first appearance that I can remember going to the mound in quite some time. Pierce Johnson warming up in the pen, the right-hander. Kranitz looks like he's out there trying to fire him up. He just popped Fried on the chest, give him some words of encouragement, and go get him. So here we go. They are going to keep him in. By the way, Big Ten action real quick. Michigan leads USC 14-10. About midway through the third. Rutgers all over Virginia Tech 23-7. Earlier today, Ohio State, Indiana, and Maryland all cruised to victories. That's your college football scoreboard. First pitch on the way is a bender right there at the knees. Curveball smacks the edge. It's 0-1. Lopez, Otto Lopez, is 0 for 2 with a fly out and a ground out. Batting .261. The 0-1. Curveball swung on, chopped over towards third. Urshela, it's a 5-4-3. Attempt at a double play, and Ozzie throws it into the dugout, and that's going to tie the game. My God. Never should have thrown it. He had no shot of making that play. The runner was 3 steps past the bag. I know Ozzie's trying to do more. I know he's trying to do something, make something happen, but you got to stick that in your pocket. There was no chance of making that play. And it bounced into the dugout, so it'll be an automatic run, and they'll move the runner to second. First pitch on the way, curveball up top for a strike. It's 0-1. If Max can get out of here, we'll be all right. Just got to keep the game tied. Mets, by the way, have taken a 3-2 lead against Philadelphia. That Kirkering character, he's coughing up more runs again. The 0-1. Outside wide, 1-1. 1-1 count. Go ahead, run it second. Still just here in the 6th inning. The 1-1 pitch. Swing! Chops it foul. 1-2. Yeah, if he holds on to that ball, you got runners on the corners. That's not guaranteed they're not going to score, but you would still have the lead, and the go-ahead run would be at first, not second. Sanoa. There they go. The 1-2 pitch. Inside, four-seam fastball. Almost gets him. Good stop by Travis. Looks like Travis banged his hand on the batter's back leg. 2-2. Appears to be okay. Oh, he scraped it at the bottom of his shoe. 2-2 count. Runner at second. 2 outs. Deuces wild here in Miami. The 2-2. 2 out. Runner at second and a 2-2 score. The pitch from Fried, his 102nd of the day. Swing. Bangs it foul down the line. We'll do it again. This has got to be his last batter, I would think. 102 pitches. Standing on deck is Jesus Sanchez. I understand they may want him to face the lefty, but at some point, he's about cooked. The 2-2 for Max. Kicks and brings it. Swing, lifted into left field, drifting back, making the catches. Ramon Laureano, and that'll end the inning. Will we get out of it with the tie game? We'll grab the bats. Ozuna, Olsen, Soler, the heart of the Atlanta Braves order coming up.
Hey, does anybody else drive home fast as hell after work like they're running late for the house? Or is it just me?
Have you heard the story of Pete Gray? If not, you're about to hear one of the most inspirational stories in baseball history. He grew up in a poor family where all the children would have to work to bring in additional income after they finished the 8th grade. At the age of 6, he fell off the running board of a truck he hopped on and got his right arm caught in the spokes of the wheel. Due to the severity of his injury, doctors weren't able to save his arm and he would have to have it amputated. His injury didn't change the fact he was in love with baseball, and it didn't deter him from his dreams of playing Major League Baseball. To learn to hit, he practiced for hours with a stick and rock. For fielding, he would spend many hours practicing transferring the ball from his glove to his hand. He put a lot of work in a weight training program so his left arm could swing a heavy 38-ounce bat. In his first taste of professional baseball, he hit .381 in 42 games in the Canadian American League. Over the next 2 seasons across higher levels, he continued to get better, even hitting .333 with 68 stolen bases in 1944. In 1945, his contract was purchased for $20,000 by the St. Louis Browns. In 77 games that season, he batted .218 with 51 hits, 13 RBIs, and 5 stolen bases. Even though his time in the majors was short, what an inspiration for anyone who plays the game.
The only time I ever was embarrassed about baseball had little to do with being a girl. It had to do with the fact that when I went to Harvard, for a while I had a boyfriend who was somewhat snobby. And he came from a family that was a real intellectual family, and I'd gone to dinner at his house, and all night I was mesmerized by their talking about literature and history and how learned they all were. The next night, this young man came to my house, and my father talked the whole night about baseball. My boyfriend didn't care at all about baseball. And I remember for the first time looking at my father and thinking, this is narrow what we do here. This isn't as broad as my boyfriend's life. And the next morning, waking up feeling so guilty. And in the end, I got rid of the boyfriend.
Welcome back. Braves have lost the lead. It's 2-2. And at the same time, the Mets have put one into Kirkering. It is 5-2 in New York.
This sucks, and it's horse but I'm too polite to say anything because I'm a class act.
First pitch on the way to Ozuna's down and away. Guess it was a strike. They said he went around. It's 0-1. That pitch was well out of the zone. 0-1. Dixon fires. Inside. 1-1. We saw this gentleman last night, Bashar. Really good numbers. The right-hander, the 1-1 pitch, swing, pops it back. Foul down the first base side. Will it stay in play? Just bends out of play. Over by the dugout. We'll do it again. 1-2. Remember, he was the one last night that talking about how he had just unreal numbers. Had yet to given up a hit to a right-hander. Small sample size, but nonetheless. The 1-2. Swing. 95-mile-an-hour fastball. Slaps it back. Do it again. He had equally impressive numbers against left-handers. The 1-2 count. Kicks and fires. Outside wide, 2-2. Four-seam fastball missed. Braves 2, Marlins 2. The 2-2. Swing! Ripped into left field. Will that get down? That's going to get down for a base hit. I believe that's his first clean base hit he's given up to a right-hander. Just in front of the left fielder. That'll bring Matt Olson to the plate. Matt Olson is 1 for 2. Come on, Matty. Put a charge into one. Matt Olson has walked and singled to center. The first pitch down and away for a ball. It's 1-0. Olson with the RBI on that single as Ozzie came around to score. Only 2 RBIs of the game is the man at the plate and the man backing him up. Olson and then Soler solo shot the 1-0. Swing! Lifted high and deep into right field. Going back on the track. Zip! Boom! Bam! It's gone! Ram-a-lam-a-ding-dong! His 29th jack of the year in your Atlanta Braves. 403 happy feet, 105 miles an hour off the bat. And we've doubled them up. It's 4-2 here in Miami. Wow. Wasn't sure if that one was going to get over. It kept going. That was like the one he hit the other day in Cincinnati. He didn't hit it high, but man, it was a bullet. He got out fast. The first pitch on the way to Soler. He was trying to go back-to-back jacks. Swing and a miss. It's 0-1. The 0-1. Righty-righty. Soler digging in. The pitch. Down and in. 1-1. So that'll lessen the blow a little bit of the Mets taking the big lead there in New York. Once again, remember, the Phillies have Zach Wheeler going on the mound tomorrow with a chance to win the division if they don't play today. If they don't win it today, excuse me. 1-1 down and in, 2-1. And I do believe he is going to pitch his you-know-what off. The 2-1. Swing, pops it up, got underneath that one. Will it stay in play? It will. Foul territory, making the catch is Fortes. 1 down. So if we can just win today and keep the pressure on and win tomorrow afternoon, we could go into that series on Tuesday just 1 game back. And if you win that series, not only would you be Steven with them, But you would have the tiebreaker at that point. Don't forget to pull for the Brewers tonight as well. First pitch on the way, swing and a miss, 95 miles an hour. It's 0-1. I know that one's a little off our radar because we can't play Arizona, but we do have the tiebreaker on them. So if they spit the bit this week, and they've got a tough schedule, is the 0-1. Swung on, lifted into right field. That ball's going to get down where the green grass grows. It's going to roll into the right field corner. Here comes Laureano with his long strides, kicking and kicking and kicking. And Ramon Laureano has a one-out double, gliding so gracefully around the base. Like Fred Flintstone, all you see is legs going. Great at bat by Laureano. He's been a godsend. Without his bat, where would we be out there in right field? Left field. He should be in right field. Duvall has just been utter disaster. Kelnick has fallen apart. Travis d'Arnaud with a chance to send one in. First pitch, 95 at the knees. It's 0-1. So they're forcing a pitching change. They're finally getting that Manaea guy out of the game against 0-1. Swing and a miss, 0-2. Manaea's finally out of the game in Philadelphia. They're in the 8th with nobody out and a runner on. They're going to the bullpen. So maybe Philadelphia can at least put a scare into them. The 0-2 count. Inside, 1-2. Believe Max Fried's day has done it, and they've got Pierce Johnson warming at the bullpen. Max Fried went 6 innings, 6 strikeouts, 1 walk, 5 hits, just 1 earned. That second run was because of the throwing error. The 1-2, swing and a miss, strikeout, 2 away. Travis d'Arnaud now 0 for 4 on the day with 3 strikeouts. Oof. Gio Urshela, leave it up to him to try to get that runner home from second. You'd love to have that extra cushion. Braves lead at 4-2. The first pitch, swing, chops it down the line. It's 0-1. Laureano at second. 2 runs in after the 2-run shot by Matt Olson. He was our pick to click, by the way. The 0-1. Big lead off of second base. They snuck up behind. Ramon Laureano had to dive like he was going into a swimming pool to get back. Bashar looked over his shoulder and said, "What the hell? Where are you going?" He had to dive back. The 0-1. Swing. That ball's lifted into left field. Going back on the track. That ball is gone. Ding dong, the pitch is dead. Gio Urshela, a 2-run shot. 382 happy feet, 100 miles an hour off the bat. And the Braves have opened it up to a 4-run lead. He smacked that thing near the Clevelander over there in left field. I think it might have actually got into there. Y'all are familiar with that? This little bar they have sitting in the left field seats. Yes, it did go into the Clevelander. I thought it did. I've been to that stadium, been to that bar where that guy's, if you're watching on TV where that guy's doing high fives and whatnot, it is the strangest thing. Like that, it does not feel like a baseball stadium, especially when you walk into that bar. Looks like they're going to make a pitching change. We'll take a quick break. When we come back, Braves try to tack on some more runs. It's 6-2. About time we woke up. Braves Country Baseball. Atlanta Braves have knocked out the reliever at 6-2, and the Phillies have got something cooking in the 8th inning in New York. They've got 2 on and nobody out, trailing by 3. Righty-righty matchup is the first pitch on the way from Curry, the right-hander, is a curveball for a strike. It's 0-1. The 0-1. Savion Curry, 4.95 ERA. The pitch. Swing, pops it up. High behind home plate. Will it go into the seats? It will. About 4 rows back and takes a mighty bounce. And then a handful of fans are in there fist fighting each other for the souvenir. Can't be Braves fans. Braves fans aren't fighting over Orlando Arcia foul ball. I can guarantee you that. The 0-2 count. Curry, 26 years old, from Orangeburg, South Carolina. The 0-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3, and that'll end the inning. But not for your Atlanta Braves. Put 4 on the board. Let's get it, Braves Country. We head to the bottom of the 7th. 6-2. Get up and stretch.
All right. I can't see you. Let me hear you. All 1, 2, 3. We out to the ball game. We out to the find me something up.
Welcome back to Braves Country Baseball. Yeah, he's signed through actually 2027 because there's a really cheap option on him that you'd have to be insane not to pick up because you'd at least pick him up to play on the bench. So 2027. First pitch on the way from Pierce Johnson is a curveball at the knees. It's 0-1. I don't believe, and I know that they are, by the way, Eli White has come in for Jorge Soler in right field for defensive purposes. I don't believe he's going to be the alone answer at shortstop next year. It's the 0-1, swing and a miss. It's 0-2. I believe what you're going to see, it's going to be one or two things. Either A, they trade him away and go get themselves what is considered a much better hitting shortstop, or B, they bring someone into platoon with them. But I don't think they're going to go through this again of it's a dead zone in that lineup. And he had a career year last year. It's not like this is the outlier. Last year was the outlier. Time was called by the batter. We go back to the 0-2 count. Pitch on the way. 96 outside, 1-2. The 1-2 count. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Got him with the high heat, one away. Well, the thing about the Ohtani question that you got on Yelton about the Miami, that thing was a blowout. So it doesn't make sense for a team to pitch around a guy in a blowout. What was the final score, like 17-3? At that point, they were just facing him, giving the man his chance to hit. He was going to get to the 50-50 anyways. There's a timeout. I'm not sure what in the world's going on. Home plate umpire, Carlos Torres. Oh, I see what it is. Carlos Torres is telling the batter to move back to the pitcher's mound. I mean, to the on-deck circle. And the reason why is cut her down and in. It's 1-0. Those on-deck circles are set up. It's mainly because he was blocking. Is the 1-0 right down the pipe? 1-1. He was blocking the pitch clock. The where it's set up in Miami, you can't see the pitch clock. And Pierce was saying, hey, I don't know how much time's left on the clock because he's standing in front of it. And it's because of where Miami has all their equipment laying. Is the 1-1 swung on, foul back 1-2. Now you can't go past the on-deck circle, but you can go before it. Well, he was standing right before it, but he was blocking the clock because they have all these bags and whatnot sitting right there on that deck. Hope I explained that well. The 1-2 misses high, 2-2. 2-2 count. Thank you, David. The 2-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. 2 away. Normally, I've got a monitor right in front of me showing me if I've taken the sign down. But today, because of having to use the Florida Marlins feed because of the blackout restrictions, that thing's being taken up by the game so I can bring you the game. So I appreciate David letting me know the sign was up. Fortes, the batter, first pitch on the way, outside wide. It's 1-0. 2 down the bottom of the 7th. Braves lead by 4. In a perfect world, you wouldn't have to use the back of the bullpen today, and you could save that for tomorrow because it's essentially, is the 1-0, lifted into center field, drifting back, making the catches. Michael the Hawk Harris, and that'll end the inning. 3 up, 3 down. That's what you want. We'll head to the 8th. Let's see if we can get some insurance, Braves country, and give maybe Joe Jimenez the night off.
UOB, I'm just trying to go about my life, and someone actually says, do you have a CDL for that dump truck in real life?
But instead of Jimmy the Greek, we're going to have to go with Peter the Irishman today.
Hi, my buddy Jimmy the Greek is on the injured reserve list today, so I'm going to tell you who's going to win all the NFL games and the World Series. But don't run to your phone because a year ago I said it would be the Phillies.
Got him! Got him!
I just got one of the weirdest messages I have ever gotten on Instagram. So the message was sexual in nature. It was from an older gentleman about my father's age. Quality stuff. I clicked on this elderly gentleman's photo, and the first line in his bio is that the Lord is his strength and his shelter. And it gets even better. This is a shared Instagram account, he says. He shares it with his wife and children. What are you doing? Your wife's going to see the message. This is why you shouldn't be on the internet.
Trigger an entire fan base with only one sentence.
All bubble ships in 2020 are fake.
That should do it.
Why isn't football on the TV?
First preseason game?
No. No. Oh, it's starting. No.
Armchair. I think what baseball is a game that allows people who watch it to think about nothing else. It allows us to feel connected to a place. So part of what American history is texture, it's fabric, it's Brooklyn, it's Boston. But sadly, part of what American history is and part of what baseball is moving away from those places. So Brooklyn leaves and goes to California, and the free agents take away our favorite players, and America's always mobile, always moving on.
Welcome back to Braves Country Baseball. Righty-lefty matchup. Peterson comes on. First pitch on the way is a cutter at the knees. It's 0-1. New pitcher for the Marlins, Michael Peterson. The right-hander, swing and a miss, cutter down and in, 0-2. Comes on with a 6.89 ERA, 30-year-old from Middlesex, United Kingdom. Get your mind out of the gutter, John. Middlesex, United Kingdom. The 0-2. Pitch. Swing. Rips it into right field. That's down for a base hit. And your Atlanta Braves. Leadoff single here with a 4-run lead. You got to love that. By the way, Philly has pulled within 2. They're in the 8th inning. The Mets are batting with 1 on. It's 5-3 New York. Ozzie Albies digs in. First pitch. 96. On the outer edge. It's 0-1. The 0-1. Kicks and fires. Swing. Rifles that down the right field line. If it's fair, it's going to be just foul. That would have gotten into the corner for extra bases. The 0-2 count, runner at first, nobody out. Righty-righty matchup. Pitch on the way. In the dirt, good block. 1-2. Standing on deck is Marcell Ozuna. In the hole, Matt Olson. The 1-2. Kicks and fires. Down and away. 2-2. Braves lead this one 6-2. If the scores stand, we'll stay 2 games back of the Mets. Of course, we still control our own destiny with 3 at home versus New York. The 2-2. Chop foul down the third base line. We'll do it again. I think a lot of folks remember, but maybe we forget, that just a couple of years ago, the Mets came in 2 games up in Atlanta. All they needed to do was win 1 game and they would have won the division. Instead, they spit the bit and were swept in Atlanta with the 3 best pitchers on the mound. The 2-2 pitch, swing, pops it up high in the sky into right field. Drifting in, making a running catch is Sanchez with his light blue glove. 1 away. One on, one out. Pitch on the way to Ozuna, righty-righty matchup. Kicks and fires, swing, fouls it back, 97. Man, he can bring it. Got a high ERA, but 97 on the outer edge. It's 0-1. He's thrown 15 2/3 innings coming into today, but a whip of 1.72. So a high batting average. Not a ton of walks. Those are all been hits. Turns around and flips it over to first. Michael Easley back. It looks like Jimenez and Jesse are warming up. So if we get much of a lead here, I think Jesse will take over for the 8th. But if it's a 4-run lead, you may see Jimenez. Remember, he's pitched a lot this week. I think they'd like to give him the day off, the 0-1. Swing! That ball's lifted into left field. Line drive into the glove of the left fielder, Stowers. 2 away. Hard hit ball, but right at him. First pitch on the way to Matt Olson. Swing and a miss, strike. It's 0-1. The 0-1. Kicks and fires in the dirt. 1-1. Matt Olson gave the Braves the lead with a 2-run shot his last time up over the right center field wall. I think it was a line drive, getting out in a hurry. Another one here would be nice, wouldn't it? The 1-1 to Matt. Pitch, swing, pops it up down the left field line. It looks like it's going to stay in play. Making a running catch is Berger over his shoulder in foul territory, and that'll end the inning. So the Braves put one on but can't do anything with it. We'll be back in a flash. 6-2 your score here in Miami.
There's the chirping again. How are you not hearing that? Newsflash! I've been hearing it the entire damn time! Then why would you say something? Because I hate you!
Today we're going to go over some wild baseball coincidences that you won't believe are true. Minnesota's Metrodome hosted 8 World Series games in its history. In all 8 of those games, Terry Pendleton's team lost. The Cardinals lost 4 in the 1987 World Series, and the Braves lost 4 in the 1991 World Series. Lou Gehrig, the Iron Horse, had his first career home run on September 27, 1923. His last home run would come exactly 15 years later on September 27, 1938. Warren Spahn had a longer streak of hitting at least one home run than he did pitching at least one shutout. He had homers in 17 consecutive seasons, but only had shutouts in 15 consecutive seasons. There have only been 2 pitchers in Major League Baseball history with the name Moyer. Ed Moyer, who pitched 6 games for the Senators, who died on November 18, 1962, and Jamie Moyer, who pitched 25 years in the majors and was born on that same day, November 18, 1962. Dennis Eckersley picked off Kenny Williams on June 29, 1987. His next pickoff would occur almost 4 years later when he picked off, you guessed it, Kenny Williams again.
On April 20th, 1912, 2 months before the cornerstone was laid for Ebbets Field, Fenway Park opened its doors for the first time. The Red Sox beat the New York Highlanders that afternoon 7-6 in 11 innings, beginning one of the most intense rivalries in baseball. And then they went on to win the pennant and the series, setting a precedent that did not last for long. Tris Speaker once owned its center field. Smokey Joe Wood and Babe Ruth and Roger Clemens have all bewildered batters there. Ted Williams, who sharpened his eye by shooting the pigeons that flew over the outfield, hit so many home runs into the right field bullpen that players came to call it Williamsburg.
Welcome back to Braves Country Baseball. Joe Jimenez comes on, first pitch on the way, slider at the knees, it's 0-1. The 0-1, swung on, chopped foul. 0-2. No 2 count. Braves lead it 6-2, bottom of the 8th. The Mets have now taken a 6-3 lead. They are beginning the 9th inning. There is one out. So it doesn't look like we're going to get any help there. One down. The swing and a miss strike by Norby, one away. Berger, 0 for 3. First pitch, swing and a miss strike. It's 0-1. They've been pretty tight-lipped on what the deal was with Kranitz, but he's been out for several months. He came back last night. Whatever's going on, it's good to see him back in the dugout. 0-1 fouled away, 0-2. No 2 count. Jimenez comes set. Kicks and fires. Swing. Fouls it back. Berger 0 for 3 on the night. Had so many big hits against the Braves the last couple of years. You just can never be too comfortable when he's at the plate. Came over in a trade with the Chicago White Sox at the deadline when the Marlins were fighting to get into the playoffs last season. The 0-2 swung on, hit down the line, out of play. We'll do it again. It's a pretty good find. At the time, I remember I was talking about wanting to get him. I don't know where we would have stuck him, but he was on the trade block, the 0-2, down and away, 1-2. There was an idea that he could possibly be in left field. Remember at the time that they were suggesting O'Reilly play left field and have him go to third. I just don't think that would have happened. The 1-2 pitch, chop foul off his instep. We'll do it again. Sometimes when you see these rumors from some of these social media, I guess you can't call them reporters. We'll just call them guessers. They'll have some harebrained ideas, not thinking about, well, okay, first of all, the salary constraints of the club, but also where the hell is he going to play defense at? The 1-2, swung on, lifted back again. We'll do it again. The 1-2 count. Pitch on the way, slapped into right field. That's through for a base hit. And it's 1 on, 1 out here in the bottom of the 8th. Berger once again getting a big hit against the Braves, trying to get things going. It looks like the Mets have won. So 6-3 your final. Mets move to 2.5 games in front of the Braves. It'll go back to 2 if the Braves can hold this lead. We'll take that score down in a second after everyone gets a chance to see it. First pitch on the way, Bride. Strike right there. It's 0-1. Righty-righty matchup, runner at first. 1 out. Jonah Bride 1 for 2 on the day. The 0-1. Down and away, 1-1. 1-1 count. You know, Iglesias hasn't pitched in the last few days. They may have him pitch the 9th no matter what the score is, just to keep him from getting rusty. The 1-1, chop back foul, 1-2. He'll definitely pitch tomorrow if he doesn't pitch today. It won't even matter what the circumstances are. You don't want your closer being rusty going into the biggest series of the season. 1-2 count. Comes set, brings it. Does he go around? He did. Strike three. Got him with the slider down the way, 2 away. Two down. First pitch on the way to Hill is inside. It's 1-0. Once again, if anybody wants to put their survivor picks in, you got till the end of this game. After that, we'll close up shop. We've got about, all in all, about 20 names in there. The 1-0 swung on, lifted high and deep into left center field, going back, trying to make the catch. At the wall, a leaping catch by Money Mike. Are you kidding me? I thought for sure that was getting down. 75% of the world covered by water, the rest by Michael the Hawk Harris. We head to break, up by 4, back in a flash.
I don't know which one of my coworkers need to hear this, but anything happening past 12 o'clock on Friday is definitely a Monday problem.
You know those nights where you just do not feel like drinking? Well, tonight's not one of those nights. We're getting cheers.
Today, we hop into our MLB time machine and talk about baseball first. On May 2nd, 1876, Ross Barnes hit the first home run in baseball history in the top of the 5th inning against Cincinnati pitcher Cherokee Fisher. On July 15th, 1876, St. Louis Brown stocking pitcher George Bradley would be the first to do something. He threw a no-hitter. On September 10th, 1881, Roger Connor did something that wouldn't be done again until Babe Ruth did it again in 1925. He hit the first walk-off grand slam. Paul Hines put his name in the history books for being the first Major League Baseball player to wear sunglasses on the field. He also had 2 other firsts. He was baseball's first Triple Crown, and he performed the game's first unassisted triple play. New York Giants player Mickey Welch made history on August 10th, 1889, when he pinch hit for his injured teammate Hank O'Day.
What do you guys want?
Let me get a bacon, egg, and cheese on a hard roll with a side order of fries, cheese, and gravy, and a bowl of gravy on the side.
I'll have the same thing plus pancakes.
Chocolate milk?
You know it, honey.
And I'll make it 2.
I'll have an egg white omelet made with very little oil, dry wheat toast, and grapefruit juice.
Oh, my God.
All right, here it comes.
You know, just placing an order like that gets you kicked out of the Army.
Now, if you put a construction helmet on that order, it could join the village people.
Would you knock me down a flight of stairs for $4 million?
I'd do it for a $5 scratch-off and a bag of Doritos.
Over the years, the struggles of the Boston Red Sox would provide some of the most dramatic and heartbreaking action the game would ever see. And on October 21st, 1975, Fenway Park would witness the greatest game in World Series history, a game that rekindled the whole country's love of baseball.
Braves Country Radio, your home for the classic call of Braves Country Baseball. Welcome back. Michael Harris getting high fives in the dugout. If you're listening on radio, it was that good of a catch. That thing's going to be on highlight reels tonight. First pitch on the way to Eli White. It's a swing and a miss strike. It's on. I mean, he absolutely had to go up like a spider to get that thing at the top of the wall. Sprawling out. He appears to be okay. He is checking his elbow, so you don't love that, but he appears to be okay. I think it was just scrapes and bumps and bruises. Eli White on for Jorge Soler defensively, so it's his first at bat, the 1-1 in the dirt, 2-1. The 2-1 count. Someone was asking, I caught the quarter mile, I can't remember who it was, asking about the Cover Country channel. The 2-1 pitch, swung on, chop foul, 2-2. It's youtube.com/@covercountry. Putting it in the chat right now for anyone that wants to check out the chat tomorrow. We do other betting stuff. We're trying to build the channel before we put a bunch of it on there. Most of our shows are still coming here on Braves Country, except for the chats. The standalone chats is the 2-2, Mrs. High 3-2. When baseball season comes to an end, we're going to put football games on up there as well. The payoff pitch. Swung on, lifted foul. down the line, out of play. Do it again. Peterson's still the batter. The payoff pitch. Caught, looking, strike three, cutter on the outer edge. One away. And whoever was asking about that, we've also pinned it to the top of the page in case, because I know it gets lost in the chat. But what we're trying to do over there is we're trying to build a second page for the sports betting by next year. Right now, we're still doing most of it over here. First pitch on the way, swing and a miss. It's 0-1. But we will simulcast over there as well going forward. I got the news for that today for the betting show that's on Saturdays. We're simulcasting over there so people can see it. The 0-1 in the dirt, 1-1. I believe I've gotten the okay to start showing it here as well. That was a long battle that I think I finally won. 1-1 count. I think essentially the 9 to 10 hour is going to be right here like it was today. The 1-1 swung on, popped up high in the sky, drifting over, making the catch. Center fielder, 2 away. The baseball talk that comes on for the first half hour will still be members only, but after that it's going to be for anybody, even if you're not a page member. First pitch on the way to Travis d'Arnaud is swung on and dragged foul down the line. It's 0-1. Right now we do that show 8:30 to 10 on Saturdays when football season ends. It's probably going to go more to a 9 to 10 show, but there's no way to talk the world of baseball and get all the college and the NFL betting stuff in. It's just impossible. The 0-1 in the dirt, 1-1. Braves lead at 6-2. All the stuff we give with all the picks and everything. I mean, we're jamming it, man, to get all that stuff in an hour as it is. That show is carried nationally on a lot of different radio affiliates, independent stations. The 1-1 right there at the knees, 1 and 2. That's our 11th season of that. It used to be called Armchair Quarterbacks. And for a brief time it was called Goal to Go, but we decided to. The funny thing is when we decided to brand it with Braves Country, calling it Cover Country as the 1-2 pitch, outside wide 2-2. We never thought about the fact that if you search Cover Country in YouTube, you get a bunch of country songs that have been covered. We didn't even think about that. We were talking about covering the spread, right? So a 2-2 count. Pitch, swing and a miss, strike three. His 4th strikeout of the day for Travis d'Arnaud. He's got the golden sombrero, but we've got Raziel Iglesias coming out of the pen with a 4-run lead.
How are you now?
What?
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 What was that?
What?
Well, you're standing, breathing, and smoking, so the other thing.
Spitting?
Some barefaced, uncultivated version of it, yes.
What, you never seen someone spit before?
Yes. An inexcusably obese man in the batter's box at a Blue Jays game.
But you never seen a girl spit before?
Yes. A 6-year-old after consuming an insect in her ice cream cone.
But you don't think girls should spit?
I don't say what girls should do.
But you don't like it when girls spit?
Preferably not within my line of sight, earshot, and in a perfect world, ever.
You hungry?
Am I hungry?
Yeah, that's what I said.
I'm immediately concerned that sensation may never reestablish itself. But what a ride it's been.
What's your best pitch?
My best pitch is a strike. A sinking fastball down and away from a right-handed hitter. Thereby, he thinks it's a good pitch. The last minute, it sinks. He hits the top half of the ball, and he hits a ground ball one away. And you do that 3 times or 27 times in a ball game, make perfect sinkers, you'll get 27 outs. Unless the hitters are smart, and then what they do is they know it's a sinker, they get up and they drive the ball to right center field, and then you got to run at third and less than 2 outs. So they bring the infield in, and you don't want them to hit a sinker now. You got to strike them out. So then you go to a cross-seam fastball, which I don't have.
The idea of community, the idea of coming together, we're still not good at that.
We talk about it a lot. In moments of crisis, we're magnificent at it. At those moments, we understand community, helping one another. Baseball, you do that all the time. You can't win it alone. It is a community activity. You need all 9 people helping one another. I love bunt plays. I love the idea of the bunt. I love the idea of the sacrifice. Even the word is good. Giving yourself up for the good of the whole. That's Jeremiah. That's thousands of years of wisdom. The Bible tried to do that and didn't teach you. Baseball did.
Welcome back to Braves Country Baseball. Noticed my lock hit this morning from the show, if y'all watched. Tulane 41-33 over Louisiana. Braves lead at 6-2. I think it's a good sign that Austin Riley is traveling with the team. First pitch on the way from Iglesias. Swung on, banged on the ground over to short. RC's got it, fires it over to first. 6-3 put out, 1 away. Raziel Iglesias, 1.87 ERA. That's shiny. A 150 batting average versus lefty, a 157 batting average versus righty. You can't get more consistent than that. Thankfully, this is the last game I have to do via the Miami Marlins in 2024. First pitch on the way down and in, it's 1-0. There's a Marlin fan listening. There's nothing against the Marlins. It's the way I have to do these games. Anyone they play in the blackout area. The 1-0 right there at the knees, 1-1. Marlins and Rays. Thankfully, nowadays, because of the expanded schedule, they only face the Rays 1 series a year. Used to be home and away. The 1-1 to Conine. Swing, drags it over to second. Ozzy's got it. Waits for Matt to get to first. He flips it. 4-3, 2 down. This would be a perfect way to end this game. Get the baseball out of the way, as you got a lot of good games for college football starting up at 7 and 7:30. That Tennessee-Oklahoma game ought to be fun. A couple of really good games. If you're up late tonight, that BYU-Kansas State game, don't sleep on that. That should be a fun one. First pitch, swung on, pops it back foul. It's 0-1. If anyone is interested, we can put that stream up for the chat for the game tonight for folks who just want to shoot the bull, but have to see several people in the chat that say they want to do that. The 1-1. I'm talking about the Tennessee-Oklahoma game. The 1-1. Swung on, lifted foul. 1-2. So a 1-2 count. Pitch on the way, swung on, sliced back foul again. Sanchez, the batter. Marlins down to their last strike. The 1-2. Foul back again. We'll do it again. One-two count. Someone's asking about Rangers and Mariners. I'd probably take the over, at least in the first 5. Haven't really studied it, but the 2-2 count. Righty lefty. Pitch on the way. Outside wide. Full count. I'll plan on putting that Tennessee-Georgia game up. Now, it's not as cool as this. They don't have the 3D yet, but I heard that they are working on it. It's the payoff pitch. misses, ball 4. So we'll put that up. I believe that game starts at 7:30. I'll put that up for the Tennessee-Georgia game. And, of course, everyone will be in there rooting against the Marlins. Not the Marlins. I have that on my brain because of Sage saying it. The Brewers-Arizona game. First pitch on the way to Stowers is swung on and fouled back. It's 0-1. Yeah, they haven't quite figured that out yet, John. I think what you're going to see is you're going to see them see what baseball has done there, and they're going to be like, man, we got to figure it out. The 0-1 up top or a strike 0-2. I don't know if they'd be able to do it as detailed, but I feel like they could come up with some version of it that, as opposed to that scoreboard that just shows the ball going back and forth. The 0-2. Well, Keith, maybe, but maybe not. The 0-2, that's going to be grounded at first and stepping on the bag. That'll end the inning. That'll end the game. Braves win. Braves win. Your Atlanta Braves win. Whiskey for my men. Beer for my horses. I think the player of the game, we got to go with the man with the 3 RBIs. Matt Olson goes 2 for 4 with a home run, 3 RBIs. And Atlanta stays within 2 of the New York Mets. And also, they're now within 2.5 of the Diamondbacks, who play the Brewers tonight. We'll be monitoring that game as well. We will put that up on Cover Country. Go to Cover Country Radio. I'm going to put it in the chat before I get off this stream. I'll leave the stream up while we create the link. But Cover Country Radio on YouTube for the Tennessee-Georgia game. Y'all have a great night, Braves Country. We needed that win. We're still in it. They ain't killed us yet.
You're in Braves country.